Warning: this episode contains strong language or mature themes. Parental discretion is advised.
200 times we've hit the play. Voices loud like a fireworks display. The mic's been hot, the story spun. What a ride, we're not yet done. From the chaos, we've built a throne, and the dog takes you back home. Is Peter genre who even knows where this wild river of nonsense flows? What were you doing in Tijuana? Questions pile up, let's add more drama. Guests who came and jokes that flew. Every misstep became something new. A train of thoughts that never slows, crashing through where logic won't go. Raise your glass, your earbuds too. Here's to the madness we all pursue. Is Peter genre who even knows where this wild river of nonsense flows? What were you doing in Tijuana? Questions pile up, let's add more drama. Guests who came and jokes that flew. Every misstep became something new. A train of thoughts that never slows, crashing through where logic won't go. Raise your glass, your earbuds too. Here's to the madness we all pursue. Is Peter genre who even knows where this wild river of nonsense flows? What were you doing in Tijuana? The answer's vanished like a sauna.
And welcome to episode 200 of this podcast is Uncalled For. For those of you new to the program, my name is Mike Chernevsky. And we made it to 200, so let's celebrate. And the first thing we're going to do is demonstrate why you don't have to worry about artificial intelligence with this podcast. Yes, we do use AI for music, but that is pretty much the extent of it. I'm not going to turn this over to AI DJs, and I'm going to demonstrate why. So this is a sample from Google's Notebook LM AI. I thought, let's see if we could write a review of the podcast and put it in podcast form, and this is what the AI came up with. You'll hear it, and then you'll hear my input on it. So.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We don't just read the sources, we try to unpack the story they're telling.
And today, we're really peeling back the layers on a pretty fascinating case study.
Yeah, a long-running, fiercely independent podcast. We're looking at how one host managed to build this really loyal following, basically by, refusing to stick to any single format.
We've got a ton of material to go through: fan discussions, industry reviews, even some really detailed local advocacy papers.
And it all centers on one show. This podcast is Uncalled For. It's hosted and produced by a guy named Mike Chernevsky.
That's Chernevsky.
Right, Chernevsky. And his whole mission for the show is kind of perfectly summed up in his motto. He says it's about whatever the fuck he wants to talk about.
And that's really the core thing we're digging into here. This show, it started way back in 2019. It's got 263 episodes, and it just recently hit 25,000 unique downloads. For a truly independent, one-person show, that's huge.
It's massive.
So our mission for you listening is to sort of figure out the blueprint here. How does an approach that's so unfiltered, I mean, mixing deep personal stories with niche hobbies and some really sharp local politics, how does that actually work for, what, 7 years?
Okay, so let's unpack that. I think we have to start with the foundation, right? The authentic voice of this kind of podcaster.
Yeah.
Industry reviews, they pretty much all praise his hosting style. They use words like unfiltered and relatable.
And that it leads to these genuine, heartfelt discussions.
Exactly. He has this level of transparency with his audience that you rarely see. It's almost like they're just listening in on his ongoing life diary.
It's more than just transparency, though. I think it's a strategy.
Yeah.
It's a strategy of vulnerability.
Yeah.
He uses his own personal life as the actual content.
And he's really committed to the integrity of that narrative. I mean, I'm thinking of that whole incident back in 2024.
Oh, the KC Fringe Festival thing.
Yeah. An improv group did a parody of his show, and he felt like he had to do a whole episode just to, correct what they said.
Right, but it wasn't that he was mad about the parody itself. It was more this, firm insistence on his own truth.
He wanted the record to be straight.
Exactly. He clarified the pronunciation of his Polish name, but more importantly, he debunked 2 key details from their sketch: that he's never been married and has no children.
Which might seem like a small thing to correct.
It does, but it shows this complete refusal to let the public story about him drift away from his actual reality.
And that commitment is so essential because the stories he shares they're intensely personal. The sources point to his really candid talks about what he calls perpetual singleness.
And then there's the even heavier stuff, his whole journey of losing his faith in Mormonism.
Which he ties directly back to the events of 9/11, the trauma and, I guess, the disillusionment from that.
Yeah, and that kind of content, giving a detailed accounting of a major shift in your identity, in your faith, that is the currency of trust in this kind of media. He's basically giving you the blueprint to his own moral and emotional architecture. And if you believe him on that, you'll believe him on everything else.
It definitely sets a high bar for the people he has on the show, too. He isn't out there chasing, A-list names or trying to go viral.
Not at all. His guest list is pretty much his inner circle. He wants people who offer authenticity and shared history.
Like his interviews with Lucas Stoneking and Daniel Raines?
Right. Who weren't famous. They were his coworkers from when he drove a forklift at Solpata Designs.
And by having them on, he's kind of validating those experiences. He's reinforcing that his life, and by extension the show, is grounded in something real in a shared past.
It makes the conversation feel less like an interview. It's more like you're just eavesdropping on old friends catching up.
So, okay, this brings us to the actual result of this whatever the host wants philosophy. You get this just astonishingly eclectic tapestry of content.
It's almost chaotic, the diversity of topics. But it's always tied together by his very specific passions.
The guy's a licensed chess tournament director, so of course you're going to get deep dives into niche board games.
Yeah. He hosted a full playthrough of a game called That's a Wrap.
With the designer, Adam Sadiq.
That's one. And then you switch gears completely, and suddenly he's doing this deep analysis of alternative sports leagues.
The pre-merger XFL and USFL. And he doesn't just mention them, he has this encyclopedic knowledge of specific teams.
He names them, yeah. The St. Louis Battlehawks, the Houston Gamblers.
The Michigan Panthers.
Right. And what's really compelling is how that sports obsession connects right back to his local advocacy. He pairs this love for these underdog leagues with this recurring, really critical commentary on the NFL leaving St. Louis. He calls out the owner, Stan Kroenke, by name.
So he uses sports as a lens to talk about bigger things, like civic loyalty and corporate betrayal.
Exactly. It's never just the hobby for its own sake. There's always politics or history underneath it.
And we should probably mention, this isn't his first rodeo. This style, this blend, it goes way back for him.
It really does. The sources show he got his start in podcasting way back in 2012. He was the producer and editor for a show called Sunflower Brew.
And that show was already doing this mix, right?
The perfect blend. It was Kansas politics and craft beer culture at the same time.
That's such a fascinating combination. But it proves he's always seen these things, hobbies, and deeply held beliefs as just, part of the same whole.
And that's why it works. If you trust his take on a weird regional political race, you're probably going to trust his enthusiasm for a niche microbrew. It's consistent.
And that consistency really shows up when you look at the numbers.
Yeah, let's talk about the fan favorites.
We've got the official top 10 list from 2021. And what's so telling is that his audience, when they're given all this choice, they overwhelmingly pick the pure narrative. The vulnerability.
The top 3 episodes, if you exclude bonus material, are Stories Untold 1, Stories Untold 2, and Ghost Stories.
So if the chess and the football were the bait, the deeply personal story was the hook.
It's the payoff for all that authenticity. The audience gets so invested in him as a person that they want to hear the deepest, most mysterious parts of his life.
And right after those, you've got episodes like Brian Boy, Fringe Show, and Thoughts on Being a Trekkie.
Which are still about personal reflections, about identity. And then you see that interview with the game designer, Adam Sadiq, popping up again. It's all about people and their stories.
So what this really shows is that the tapestry only works because all the different threads are extensions of his personality. The hobbies add flavor, but the vulnerability, that's the actual substance of the show.
He's basically trained his audience to value his perspective more than any single topic he might choose.
And that deep, committed perspective, it leads us right into the final and maybe the most impactful part of his show, his role as a platform for local advocacy.
Yeah, a platform focused intensely on Kansas City.
If his personal life is open source, his civic life is, it's a call to action.
This is where his contrarian, super detail-oriented personality really finds its perfect outlet. I mean, he has been arguing for 2 decades
20 years since he was at UMKC.
that the Kansas City Royals need to move out of the suburbs and build a new stadium downtown.
And he's not just making some broad philosophical argument for it. He and these local groups he champions, like 3D development, they have a very specific location in mind.
The Washington Square Park site.
Right.
And what's so powerful about their case for this specific spot is how meticulously it's built to counter all the usual objections to big development projects.
Like what?
Well, for starters, the sources detail how this proposal requires 0 business displacements.
That's a huge strategic advantage. No one gets kicked out.
Almost no one. They only have to demolish one building, 2301 Main, which is apparently set to be vacated in 2025 anyway.
Yeah.
So the human and political cost is minimized right from the start.
But the real genius, I think, is in the infrastructure part of the argument. They call it the
Oh.
bullseye site for a reason.
It's positioned perfectly. You've got, what, 9 interstate connections right there?
Plus over 20,000 existing parking spots within just a few blocks. So the whole where will everyone park argument is solved before it even starts.
And critically, it sits directly on the KC streetcar line.
Let's pause on that because that's the key to the whole thing. It's about leveraging what's already there.
Absolutely. The KC streetcar, for anyone who doesn't know, is this modern, free-to-ride transit line that runs through downtown. This stadium plan puts the venue right on that line.
So it can deliver, what's the number? Something like 2,500 people per hour straight to the gate?
Right, and that turns a huge game day crowd from a traffic nightmare into a success story for public transit. It validates the city's investment in the streetcar in the first place.
And the synergy just keeps going. The location connects Union Station, Crown Center, the National WWI Museum. It's not just about baseball, it's about stitching the whole cultural heart of the city together.
And then there's the Future South Loop project. The sources mention the I-670 lid.
Which is basically a giant park built over the top of a sunken freeway.
Exactly. So you take this highway that divides the city, you cap it, and suddenly you have this massive new green space connecting downtown to the Crossroads Arts District.
And this stadium would plug right into that new park. It's about long-term urban cohesion, not just a quick buck.
You can tell he really understands how all these different assets have to work together.
And this critique goes beyond just the ballpark. He uses Kansas City as a sort of microcosm for what's wrong with national policy.
Oh, definitely. He talks about his own car troubles, these small personal frustrations, and connects them to this huge systemic failure of U.S. public transit. He calls it the current suck.
He points out the irony in KC. The buses and the streetcar are free.
But the service is extremely limited. It's not built for weekends or for rush hour, for the people who actually need it most.
Yeah.
So even free transit can fail.
And all of this political passion builds to his most provocative, his most uncalled for idea.
The Free State of Kansas City.
Right, this concept of taking the 5 to 7 county metro area and just making it its own thing, separate from Kansas and Missouri.
It's a radical idea, for sure, but it's the logical endpoint of his frustration. If state-level politics are always holding the city back, why not just decouple? Give the metro area the autonomy it needs to get things done.
It's a bold thought experiment,
Yeah.
and it perfectly captures the show's whole ethos.
So to bring this all back for you, the listener, what's the core lesson here? I think it's that success in this kind of independent media just can't be faked. Mike Cherniwski's success isn't just about niche knowledge, though he has plenty of that with chess and sports. It's fundamentally built on radical transparency.
Yeah.
He weaves this rich tapestry of narratives, the personal, the esoteric, the political, and it all becomes one unified thing. It teaches us that a fierce commitment to local issues, when you deliver it with that consistent vulnerability, creates a powerful bond with an audience.
A bond that they'll choose over slick production or celebrity guests every time. And this is where the brilliance of that local advocacy really comes into focus, and it's the thought I think we should leave you with.
Okay.
The Washington Square Park proposal is a masterclass in urban strategy because it's not about starting from scratch. It's about leveraging what's already there. The public infrastructure, the streetcar, Union Station, the future park over I-670, it uses those existing assets to justify the new development.
It's making the most of the capital that's already been sunk into the city.
So think about your own community, your own city. What's the big civic project that could transform the heart of your region, not by building something totally new in a vacuum, but by strategically plugging into the public assets you already have? A transit line that's underused maybe, or a historic district that's ready for a new purpose, what's already there, just waiting to be connected.
All right, so that's the AI-generated review of the podcast. Some notes. First of all, well, thank you for getting the name right, at least, and kind of sort of the mission of the podcast, which, again, inartfully, I've said whatever the fuck I want to talk about. Over 200, I guess they were including all the clips trailers that we have. They're including the UFL podcast that we have within our feeds, in the unofficial fan lounge, which will be happening when this releases. Season 3 of the league, season 2 of that mini podcast, and the extra stuff that we have on our feed. And ongoing life diary, yeah, I think that's a good way to describe the podcast. I do have to clarify the fringe prov thing a little bit better. Yeah, those are the sticking points I had, but go back and listen to my 2024 fringe review, because that wasn't the only thing that was going on. They were making fun of it because they randomly they put all the fringe shows that year into a hat. So probably some of the other shows that we had their creators on, they might have been drawn as well, but we were absolutely drawn. Credit to Brian Colley for letting me use that audio in the podcast. And during the 25 Fringe Festival, as a volunteer, I happened to run into Brian Colley, and I told him, exactly that. Now, I thought it was funny, but maybe your actors should be listening to the podcast more, because I've never been married. I still have never been married, and don't have kids, because you have to get laid to have kids. Chasing A-list names, or rather their insistence that I'm not. Well, I'm trying to get who I can get. It's simple as that. I don't exactly have access to A-list type talent. If I did, Paul Rudd, Jason Sudeikis, Travis Kelce would all be on this podcast at some point. That said, I did reach out to Big Slick a little over a year ago. I might try to reach out to them again, but they never got back to me. So there's that. Luke and Dan, yes, when we were at Sopata Designs, Luke and Dan drove the forklifts. I did not. I was just stocking jewelry all around the place. Luke and Dan did all the heavy driving, if you will. And often, especially when we're still in the older warehouse, not so much in the newer one, they would drive the forklift and take shit down for my benefit. So yeah. Need to correct that one. Am Sadiq and his game. That's a wrap. Those are two separate episodes altogether. Adam, I had on before the game released, and it was actually in the middle of his Kickstarter for that game. When I actually played it, it was with other people, not Adam. Sports as an allegory for local advocacy. That's a funny way of putting it, considering my sports advocacy is for St. Louis teams for the most part, and I'm advocating for Kansas City to do what they need to do to improve, and that does include a downtown ballpark for the Royals. Hopefully that will be announced before this episode even comes out. So, top 10 list, well, clearly that does need updating, but consistently in that certainly the top 4 are going to be the two Stories Untold episodes, the Ghost Stories, and Brian's first appearance on the podcast. We'll look into correcting that. Civic life. Well, do people actually listen? Well, we do have the numbers to suggest that people listen. And one last thing, I would absolutely say that I view Kansas City as an allegory for the problems that our country faces overall. You have a certain party, you know which party I'm talking about now, that runs state government in both Kansas and Missouri that are continually at odds with the Kansas City area, which is stuck in between both. And that's why I'm advocating for this free state of Kansas City as a thought experiment. As I'm certainly within the last few years, we're seeing that Jefferson City doesn't give a shit about Kansas City trying to gerrymander the city apart into separate congressional districts to make it harder for Democrats to get elected. And they did the same shit in Topeka, gerrymandering the northern half of Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte County, into the second congressional district, which is way more conservative, all in the attempt to get Sharice Davids voted out of office. All right. So you're saying clear as day, neither state respects our metropolitan area, and it's just a thought experiment. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but I am putting it out there. Something to think about.
200 times we've hit the play. Voices loud like a fireworks display. The mic's been hot, the story's spun. What a ride, we're not yet done. From the chaos, we've built a throne, and the dog takes you back home. It's paid in jungle, who even knows where this war river of nonsense flows? What were you doing in Tijuana? Questions pile up, let's add more drama.
All right, so as part of our episode 200 festivities, we are going to be doing our bracket pool once again. Annual tradition here on the podcast. And as always, we are bracket pool at Yahoo Fantasy Sports. You have until Thursday to sign up. If you're watching the video live, of course. If you're listening to episode 200, then it's long past. But the winner of the bracket pool will receive an invite to the podcast, assuming, of course, it's not me. But anyway, let's let's get my picks in. And we'll start with this Eastern bracket. So 116 is Duke and Siena. Why don't we just put Duke all the way through? But I can, of course, I will take this seriously and go pick by pick. So 8-9, we have The Ohio State and TCU, Texas Christian University. What do the experts say here? All right. And just reading this. Just based on win-loss alone, overall record, TCU has a slight edge over the Ohio State, so I will go TCU, even though if you're a fan of the podcast and particularly when we do picks, you know I am not a big fan of the Big 12. So, there you go. St. John's and Kurt Warner's alma mater, Northern Iowa. It's 5-12. We always want to pick at least 1-12. Let's go with the Panthers, Northern Iowa. And KU, Cal Baptist. Cal Baptist in the WAC, which will unfortunately no longer be a thing. They're still going to be, well, first of all, this particular school is moving to the Big West, I believe, next year. And the WAC, Western Athletic Conference, is now going to be called the United Athletic Conference with the few schools that are still going to be there. So, big convoluted story. Of course, I'll go Cal Baptist. So, fuck you, Chicken Hawks. There you go. Louisville, South Florida. Louisville. I'll go the ACC school there. And this one pains me because I like taking Michigan State out of the tournament as early as possible. But at the same time, North Dakota State's, we have to play in basketball. And we were just terrible this year. The Roos were some good job, North Dakota State, but for once, I gotta go Michigan State here. By the way, my former therapist is a North Dakota State grad. So now hopefully we see the Roos in this situation next year. They just hired a new head coach who has experience getting teams to the Big Dance and far in the Big Dance. He was coach at Wichita State that did pretty well. I don't think it was the Final Four year. I could be wrong, but yeah. UCLA, UCF, UCLA, and then UConn and Furman. We'll go UConn. Round 32, Dukies and TCU. Dukies. Northern Iowa, Cal Baptist, Northern Iowa. Louisville and Michigan State. I'll go Louisville. Come on, you think I was going to give a free pass to Michigan State because they were playing North Dakota State? Fuck no. So, and then you say UConn, we'll go Huskies. UConn. Duke over North Iowa, and then we'll go UConn. And then to get out of course, I'm going to pick Duke to get to the Final Four at the very least. So, yeah. Now let's do the West bracket right next door. So 116, we have Arizona and Long Island University, Brooklyn. That's a lot. That's a mouthful. Uh, uh, Now it's only in recent years that 16 has beat a one. I don't think this is going to be one of those times. I'll go Arizona. Villanova, Villanova, Utah State. Let's take a look at the better win-loss record goes to Utah State, so that will be my pick. Utah State. They're soon to be part of the newly revamped Pac-12. Wisconsin and High Points. I'll go Badgers. Arkansas and Hawaii. I'll go Arkansas. We'll stop saying Hawaii in there. All right. So here's our first of the playing games. We have BYU playing the winner of Texas, NC State. Um, it depends on who wins that play-in game. If it's NC State, I'm going to go NC State, but we just don't know. So rather than live in ambiguity, I will pick BYU. Gonzaga, Kennesaw State. That's another easy one. Gonzaga uh, will also be in the Pac-12 next year. But a bunch of state schools. Yeah, Oregon State, Washington State, Utah State, San Diego State. So Gonzaga. 7-10, Miami, Florida versus Missouri. Fuck the U. Fuck them in the asshole with a big rubber dick and being the death with the rest of it. Missouri Tigers. And Purdue versus Queens University. Purdue. On the 32, Arizona, Utah State. I'll go Arizona. Arizona's at least won it once in their history. Arkansas, Wisconsin. Two football schools going, and it's. Look at the numbers. Overall. Okay, I'll go overall record here and Razorbacks. BYU got Gonzaga over BYU, and then uh, Purdue did pretty well last year, I think, but uh, I'll ride with the Tiger. Well, I'll ride with someone until we make the fucking tournament, and they're the closest thing we have to a sister school. So Missouri, um, Arizona, Arkansas. I'll go Arizona, Missouri, Gonzaga, and unfortunately, this is where I have to jump off the Missouri bandwagon, pick Gonzaga. We have Arizona, Gonzaga in the 8. Zags. So we have the Dukies, 1 seed, and Gonzaga, a 3 seed. We'll do the South bracket next. This is Florida, and they'll be playing the winner of. Uh, no, that's not my pick. My pick's Florida, but I'm pretty sure this is yeah, Prairie View A&M versus Lehigh in the playing game. I'll stick with Florida. Clemson and Iowa. Always pick the ACC school if you can. Clemson. 2 exceptions: North Carolina and Miami. Those 2 schools can go fuck themselves. Uh, Vandy versus McNeese State. Okay, let's. I think there's going to be another 5-12 upset here. So we'll pick McNeese State in Louisiana. Not, yeah, Louisiana, not. Oh, we got Chris. Nice of you to join us today. All right. So, all right. So, Chris, I'm just going over my tournament picks right now. Um, so please bear with me.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So, Nebraska and Troy. I don't think of Nebraska as a basketball school at all. So I'll go Troy. North Carolina, if you see it, come on. North Carolina is not winning. uh, I'll pick VCU there. Illinois versus Penn. Um, God, I'm picking the Illini there. St. Mary's and Texas A&M. I'll go St. Mary's. Then we have U of Houston and Idaho. U of Houston. Uh, Florida Clemson. Can't write the Clemson uh, wave. All that's long, so I will pick the Florida Gators. Troy McNeese States. That's an interesting one. Let's take a look at that. Okay, just based on those numbers, overall record alone to go McNeese, VCU, and Illinois. Well, VCU have been to a Final Four in recent memory, so I like the upset here. And then Houston, St. Mary's, as good as St. Mary's has been, I'll go U of Houston. Florida, McNeese, mm, Gators, and then I'll go chalk on that one. Florida and Houston, and then I'm only picking Houston because they knocked off KU in the Big 12. So, so we got Duke, Houston, Gonzaga in the Final Four so far. Now let's do this Midwest bracket, the last bracket. So UMBC versus Howard, and neither being Michigan, so Michigan. Georgia, St. Louis. Let's go. Billikens. Texas Tech, Akron. I'm going third, 5-12. Upset there. Alabama and Hofstra. Don't know enough about Hofstra this year, so I'll go Alabama. This one I am going to pick the playing game because the playing game is Miami, Ohio, SMU. Miami, Ohio, coming off an undefeated season this year. Got Virginia and Wright State. We'll go Virginia. Kentucky, Santa Clara. Let's go Kentucky. And Iowa State, Tennessee State. I am too chicken to pick a 15 here, so I'll go Iowa State. Michigan, St. Louis. I like the upset here, so I'll go St. Louis. Go Billikens. Um, Alabama and Akron. Let's I'll go Alabama. Uh, and unfortunately, this is where I'm going to see Miami, Ohio uh, fall. So Virginia, and then I'll pick Kentucky for that last one. Then I'll go Alabama, Virginia, and between the two, Virginia. So Final Four is Duke, Houston, Gonzaga, Virginia. So 1-1, 1-2, and 2-3s. Duke, Gonzaga, and I'm going to pick the Dukies to win, of course, and the final score is 60-55. And there we go. I'm going to save my brackets, and the bracket is good. All right. So I encourage everyone who's watching the video portion of this to go ahead and sign up for the bracket pool and make your picks now. You have until tip off, the first tip off on Thursday to make that to get in there. So anyway, Chris, thanks for joining the discussion there. So yeah, going to stop share, and yeah, I guess we'll be talking for the remainder of the time we have left. So how's it going?
Oh, all right. How are things going for you? It's kind of cold out there.
It is. It is. It's very cold out there today. I was out there earlier. Had a family situation, sibling in the hospital. Had to get her home and everything. So So yeah, 200 episodes. I'm really excited about this, and I want to thank you in particular for being one of the first guests I've had on the podcast, and uh, part of the Three Timers Club now too. So yeah, it's it's uh it's been an interesting journey. I will say that. So and uh, and we got plenty more to do with this 200th episode. So looking for those bagels on Saturday. So I assume you're going to be there too. And
Yes.
awesome, awesome. Because yeah, it's Baker's dozen, folks. I'm not going to eat all those bagels in one sitting. So yeah, hopefully we get more people to show up. We'll see. We have a few maybes. Hopefully, I can turn those maybes into yeses, but we'll see by the end of the week. Yeah. Well, what you been up to lately? So,
Not so much. Not so
hmm,
much. Had a friend with an estate sale, and
mm-hmm,
uh, they've been doing that for the last 4 weekends, and I've been there for two of them, and I think they almost have everything that they can sell out of their house, out of their house.
mm, good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. So, yeah. Yeah, I've been pretty busy, not just with the podcast, and I've been the last couple of months. I've been cranking out material just for the next season. So, so we're going well beyond 200 at this point. We're heck, even the current season, we've already gone above 200. So with that whole Nat Pod Pomo thing I did in November, and getting a couple of episodes done before New Year's, even. So
Oh,
yeah, and so yeah, that's going to be the remainder of the 10th season, and then the 11th season. Yeah, that's almost already got my minimum uh, compliment just the last couple of months. So,
11 seasons. That is unreal. That
yeah,
is unreal.
11 seasons and over 200 episodes, and um, I will give myself credits. Early on, deciding to do a season setup with this podcast because it really does help out with just managing everything. If I tried to do it all at once, I would have been burned out a long time ago. So yeah.
How many years and how many different podcasts
So we're
have
still on
you?
podcast number 3, which I started back. Like I said, you were one of my first guests on this podcast back in 2019.
Mhm.
Yeah. So so been May 2019. We're in 2020. Yeah, 2026 now. So this podcast is going to be going on uh, 7 years. Yeah. So and of course you were there for the 5th year anniversary too. So appreciate you there too. So
And at that time, we had just talked about the fact that there had been a ballot initiative in Jackson County, Missouri, that had not gone the way that the owners of the football organization in town had wanted. And there's a lot coming up here, sports wise. I believe World Cup. And I know you
hmm,
have a passionate following for the streetcar.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
what what thoughts do you have along those lines?
Okay, so we'll tackle football first because you mentioned that. Uh, and by football, I mean soccer. So, uh, yeah, I'm, yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see who, who all shows up. We're hosting 3 national teams in the KC Metro proper. We got the English, we got the Dutch, and we got the Argentine. So, um, some people want to say, well, Algeria is training in Lawrence, so but I don't consider Lawrence really part of the metro area. They're like metro adjacent. Yeah. So, I'm sorry if you got to drive 40 miles across mostly a rural landscape. You're not part of the metro. So, and I would say that about St. Joe too. Now I mentioned that. So yeah, Lawrence is really kind of its own thing, as is St. Joe. So yeah, that'll be exciting to see those teams train here. As for the streetcar, I was at the opening for the Main Street extension. Uh, that was a lot of fun. That episode will be out by the time this uh, comes out because I did record it and everything, and that was a lot of fun. Got to be. I will say this: the newer track, it runs a lot faster than the starter line, simply because it has its own dedicated lanes. All right. Whereas on the starter line, it has to share with the rest of the traffic. And yeah, by the time this episode comes out and the World Cup itself starts, we're hopefully talking about that riverfront extension opening too. The construction's done, and they're doing all the testing right now. Uh, so it's just a matter of getting all the testing uh, done, and that'll be ready to go. So you could literally ride it from the UMKC campus all the way to the Missouri River and back, which is kind of cool.
You are a UMKC alum.
Yeah. Yep. Class of '03. Yeah. Yeah.
That is a large source of pride for you just on that alone.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And hopefully next year we're in that tournament I was making picks for. So it's never happened in my life. It's never happened. I want it to happen in my life. You know, and if it does happen, I will be rejoicing on it.
Oh, the football I was talking about originally, that was the Chiefs were conflicted.
Yeah,
There's
I
been
heard about that.
quite a bit of drama from the pending
Mhm.
relocation, which
Well,
is gonna which
it's
is
just
gonna
across the state line in this case. So, true, they are leaving Missouri. All right, that that that's going to be a blow to the tax base in Missouri, and I get that. Uh, However, it's not like they're moving to Phoenix or LA. All right. Um, and it's not like they lied their way out of, to basically the Legends area. So, so, uh, so it is causing a little controversy because they're using the star bonds to fund it, and yeah, that means uh, sales taxes and property taxes will likely go up for the munis- municipalities involved. And everything. So for the stadium, they're talking about a site, right? Yeah, pretty much right next to the Legends on the west side of the racetrack. So just down the street, pretty much from Conrado's place in Edwardsville. So, so that's that. And then the training facility, that's going to be a little closer to home for us because they're talking college and Ridgeview, that empty field there, the farm there. So, which
well,
coincidentally is right next to with a soccer field complex and some shopping and a hotel. So,
correct.
and they're
Kansas Highway 10 being the northern boundary.
yeah, yeah, K10, yeah.
Mhm.
So between K10 and college. So
And that is still many years away.
yeah, yeah, still a couple more years to go. So I think the Chiefs lease on Arrowhead runs through 2031 anyway, and it's going to take that long to build the stadium portion. So The train facility, that shouldn't take nearly as long to build, but still, that is the time frame that we're talking about. Uh, of course, the Royals, like I said, they still need to be downtown. It looks like they will more likely wind up downtown at the Washington Square Park site, most likely, and that's the one, catty corner. That's the one in between Union Station and Crown Center. So,
The thing is that all of this has a lot of political implications.
hmm.
There was a even in the development of the Speedway complex, there
Oh
were
yeah.
some disputes about the way that property was acquired,
Hmm.
and I'm sure there is going to be some discussion about, and that even the failure of the proposition to fund, or was allegedly to fund the Chiefs, and the misrepresentation of where they were possibly going to place a downtown stadium was one of
Hmm.
the discussion points that I've heard.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's still too there's still way too many people in this area that are like, where are we gonna park if they put a ballpark downtown? So, yeah, yeah, just park on the plaza. It's free. Take the streetcar. That's also free, and you can walk. That you lazy bastards. uh, but in all seriousness, if you take all the parking at the sports complex now, you can fit all that parking in downtown and still have plenty of room. So 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 yeah. So and it's not easy parking. Let's be completely honest. There, it's not easy parking at all. It's probably easy getting in. It's a bitch getting out. As as I was reminded just a couple of years ago, uh, I had free Royals tickets from going to those town halls, and took another friend of the podcast, Pat Lamb, to the game. He helps with the parking, so thank you, Pat, for that. And yeah, we had a good time, and then we went to a sports bar not too far away. Yeah, we left about the sixth inning, and even that was a bitch to get out of. So so but you put that thing downtown, you don't have to jump back in your car right away. You could just get on a streetcar, go across the streets to a bar or a restaurant and everything. Wait for the traffic to die down before you start heading home. I suppose where right now, where game's over, head home, and that's going to and that already causes a lot of traffic problems with that mentality. So,
I wanted to discuss more about the like I said, the previous ballot measure, because there's a lot of pushback from people from
mhm.
they had kind of ripped they had misrepresented
So, uh,
where the stadium was going to be, and a lot of the
yeah,
pushback
that
was
was like,
from
yeah, I'm still confused on why they made that switch in the first place because the site was supposed to be the East Village, right? It's Charlotte's in the 12th, which is presently and will be for a while if even if this goes through empty field. What they like at the last second they switched it to where the Star Printing Press was across the highway from the Sprint Center, and there was a lot of bitching, complaining that oh, you're pushing out a bunch of small businesses. And uh, first of all, the Crossroads District is more than big enough to accommodate a ballpark in addition to all the arts and everything. Secondly, how many of those businesses did have these people actually patroned? No.
specifically the people who are objecting. How many
Right,
of those people
exactly,
were were frequented those locations?
exactly. Exactly. And I'm not just talking about, stop by during the first Friday uh, and just casually checking these places out. I mean, actually giving them money to stay in business and everything. So, yeah, uh, I don't know. But that's what shut it down, I think. And you know, to their credits, the owners have at least said, no, we're not leaving the KC Metro. I think. So so once again, it's not like Clark Hunt is taking the Chiefs and moving to the West Coast or anything. It's just across town. You know, it's a lot different than either situation in St. Louis. So uh, the Cardinals, yeah, the city messed up with them. The more recent situation with the Rams, that was crimes were committed there, and the league had to pay St. Louis a bunch of money for that. So
I hadn't specifically heard that. Thank you for that update.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a couple of years ago with that one. Finally uh, they finally reached a settlement after the judge said, the relocation, these relocation rules that the NFL drafted, those constituted enforceable contracts in under Missouri law. So y'all could be in huge trouble because St. Louis acted in good faith to put a plan together. Something that the NFL did not do, and specifically the Rams did not really do. So, so, so yeah, is either do that settlement for 790 million, uh, some of which went to the lawyers, and uh, all of which got the rest of which got divvied up between St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and the Dome Authority, and they're still trying to figure out how to spend that money. In the meantime, it's sitting in high interest bank accounts, gaining interest, and that and I do give them credit for taking time to figure out what exactly to do with this money and how it's going to benefit St. Louis in the future and all that. So, so yeah, it was either do the settlement or go to trial, and clearly they chose to do the settlement because if they go into trial, uh, oh boy, the NFL would be in trouble. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, cost alone just for the litigation would be.
mhm, yeah, and of course these lawyers on the St. Louis side were working on a contingency, so uh, so they wouldn't get they get paid. They only get paid if there's judgments, like this settlement. So yeah. So yeah, NFL can't really watch anymore. Now the UFL starts very soon.
Tell me
Uh,
more about this. I don't know a lot
the
about
UFL.
what's the corporate environment? Where who owns it?
Okay, so
What are the teams? What is the nature of it? How is it different from the NFL? Tell me all
okay,
this.
so for
I'm a
so the
complete
U.
newcomer to this.
All right, so the UFL, United Football League. It came about a couple of years ago as a merger between the XFL and the USFL, and their ownership. It's a complex ownership group that includes Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Danny Garcia, Redbird Capital, Fox, Disney, and they had just had a new owner this past year. His name's Mike Rapoli, and he made his money from vitamin water and body armor energy drinks. So, but he's been really hands-on since becoming an owner. Uh, like I said, it's a spring football league, so their season actually starts uh, the weekend after next. So uh, the biggest team attendance wise is the St. Louis Battlehawks. and they play at the very same dome that the Rams played in. Everything. In fact, their new head coach is Ricky Prohl, who was a huge part of the Rams getting to two Super Bowls in 2000 and 2002. So, that's going to be exciting. And yes, I am a Battlehawks fan because of that. The Battlehawks, they don't fill the dome but they don't fill the dome, but they get at least a half of it uh, filled on a regular basis. Uh, Easily the best attended team in the UFL. Uh, Still haven't won anything, but hopefully that changes this year. Uh, there have been two champions already because there have been 2 seasons already. The first was won by the Birmingham Stallions, Birmingham, Alabama. They're an old USFL team, and this would be a revival of the USFL of the '80s that Fox undertook before this merger. And Birmingham won the 2 seasons before the merger, and they won the 1 season after the merger. And they have an interesting fan culture with their fans like taking their shirts off. And last year was DC Defenders won it. Washington DC. They have an interesting fan culture too, and that's their fans during the games they take all their beer cups together and they form a giant beer snake at every game, and that I think is one of the coolest uh, fan experiences in the league. Everything, and they have a big rivalry with St. Louis. This dates back to when both teams were in the XFL. So, so, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. In fact, we open our season at St. Louis with DC. So I'm really looking forward to kicking off the season like that. Um, there are 2 teams in Texas. The Dallas Renegades. I want to say Arlington, but they're out of Arlington now. They're in Dallas, and then Houston. They switched from the XFL name, which was Roughnecks, to the USFL name, Gamblers. So that'd be fun. And then 3 new teams this year: Louisville Kings, Louisville, Kentucky, Columbus Aviators in Columbus, Ohio, and Orlando Storm, Orlando. So, so yeah, it'll be
Seven
fun.
teams total, is that right?
Yeah, 8 teams total. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and those 3 new teams they replace 3 teams that either had stadium issues or, in one case, just didn't have the attendance going. So the 3 teams they've replaced. One's the Michigan Panthers, uh, who were pretty good. But they had stadium issues in Detroit. Uh, they could return if a soccer-specific stadium opens in Detroit the next couple of years, so they could return. Uh, San Antonio Brahmas, they're another team that went bye-bye simply because they're playing in a venue that's too big, and I don't think there's any plans for a similar-sized soccer stadium in San Antonio. So, and then Memphis Showboats is the last one, and that's because they averaged less than 4,000 a game last year. You're not going. That's terrible. That that's a yeah. So, but yeah, I'm excited about the UFL, and I was excited about how this season goes and everything. And we do have I do have a supplemental uh, podcast program within the feed. It's called Unofficial Fan Lounge. See what I did there, UFL?
Oh no, I did see it.
Yeah.
It went right by me. I'm going to admit it.
so so it's something that I'm going to be doing during the UFL season, once a week. Update people. Yeah, here's how last week's games went. Here's who I'm picking for this week, and go on from there. If there's any interesting news from the week, I'm going to share it in that format as well. And yeah, first game is uh, the 27th on Friday nights. All the games will be either on Fox or ESPN or ABC because they are part owners of the league. And yeah, yeah. Um, it's a really fun league to watch. It runs slightly faster than NFL games, and I do highly recommend. So yeah.
I'll admit you're much more connected to the civic scene in Kansas City, Missouri. I know there are a lot of redevelopment plans, and there was one I came across on a YouTube video long ago. They're building a deck across I-70 on the south side of the loop. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, you're talking about that yeah, the 670 lead. You're talking about, yeah, basically
Yeah.
turn that into a tunnel, and I'm all for it. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Basically, well, it's already pretty much a tunnel underneath Bartle Hall, if you start to think about it, right? So it's just extending that tunnel all the way to about Grand and putting a park on top of it. So I'm all for it. You know, especially if their stated goal is to try to reconnect the downtown loop to the crossroads. Yeah, absolutely, all for it.
Uh, what other projects similarly have you heard about
Other projects lately that I've heard of.
in Kansas City, Missouri?
I know about the three uh, streetcar routes that are currently being studied in some way, shape, or form. So got North Rail, which would take it onto the Heart of America Bridge into North Kansas City. We have the East-West study, which would take it on 39th and Linwood Boulevards from KU Med to the bus stop area at Van Brunt, um, with a stop at the VA hospital. And the most recent one they announced was an 18th and Vine line, so 18th Street from Main Street to the 18th and Vine district, so, which itself is being redeveloped. They're turning that part of 18th Street between Paseo and Woodland, including 18th and Vine, and making it pedestrian only. So,
How do you see this as far as increasing civic pride, helping the affordability crisis that's happening in housing? What other positive things do you see coming from it?
oh, I'm sure we'll see a lot of if the Main Street extension and the Start Line itself are heck, even the Riverfront extension. If there's any indication, we'll start seeing developments along those corridors and everything, just making it easier for people to use the streetcar and all that. Now we're still a long ways away from those lines being reality, but but the fact that they're even putting those plans into motion, I think that's big. So,
This has come quite away from what they were even talking about 15 years ago.
mhm. Oh yeah. Yeah. And downtown is definitely a lot better than it was at that during that same time frame. So, and I think the streetcar played a huge part in that. So, much more so than Parallite District itself, in my opinion. So,
And for a time, that had become inactive because one of the people
because of white
who,
flight.
well, and because one of the people who uh, had that as a vision passed away in 1999, and then it took
Hmm.
about 10 years before they.
Right. So, all right. Well, we only have about 4 minutes left in this, but I will see you on Saturday, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll get those free bagels, and we'll just bring it on. Hopefully, we get more people joining us. And I'm not going to try to eat 13 bagels in one sitting. That's the thing. So,
Well, I mean, if we filmed it, then
we'll definitely be recorded. I don't know if we're going to
I
actually
know. I mean,
film.
but you'll be filmed for the attempt.
I think it'd just be a straight audio recording for the for
Oh,
this.
okay, okay.
All right.
Uh,
Oh,
no viral video moments there.
no.
Okay,
But you can,
okay.
but people can take photos, and I'll probably take photos of everyone coming in and out. Yeah,
That's a it's a good moment for publicity.
yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. So
Podcast
yes,
celebrates 200 episodes. Yeah.
absolutely looking forward to it. Thank you for the invitation.
All right. Yeah, and I will see you then, and yeah, continue this 200 episode train. And
Or light rail. However it is. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
yeah. And we're back. So this is the bagel session of our episodes 200, so called because courtesy of Einstein Brothers Bagels. No, they did not endorse this, but I did accumulate enough points with them to get a free baker's dozen bagels. And I'm not going to try to meet them all in one setting, so I opened it up to friends of the podcast to come back and help celebrate this milestone. And Chris Hart is back. Not only back for this episode because he jumped in when I was doing my picks, but also back in terms of being part of the Three Timers Club. Now, of course, to be a friend of the podcast, just appear on the podcast. Three Timers Club is 3 times credited that you're appearing on the podcast, and this episode will actually be Chris's 4th time appearing on the podcast. So he's already part of the Three Timers Club. He also has one of the distinctions of being one of the first 8 guests I approached and being on the podcast back when we started in 2019.
I appreciate that. Also, I've known you for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
We were in the Johnson County Community College Improvisation Society at the similarly named community college, and so I would put that around 2002 or 2003.
2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was after I had gotten my degree at UMKC. And I went back to school to, A, to try to look for a job, and that's ultimately how I got the security job, but B, to learn how to write business plans. And I was just getting into making media, overall, making film specifically. And I approached the sketch comedy group with hopefully to find actors to work with, and that's how I met Chris. And we did a couple little things, including the first take of Chasing Eden, and sometimes I wonder about Holden. That was your line, yeah.
Oh, I
He's like a sponge. He just takes from people, doesn't really give back. And yeah, I put myself in that short film too, Job.
I had forgotten some of the dialogue. I remember the
Well,
experience, but I had forgotten the.
Well, that line I specifically remember you improvised. So, and hence my liking to improvise in film, and certainly everything about this podcast has been improvised. So, but yeah, it helped me again the door of independent film. In fact, I remember that last meeting they ever had. Right after that meeting, I went to my first IFC meeting because we had Kelly and Deb show up, who have become really good friends. Kelly especially had been a good friend over the years, and all that. So, actually, there's a short film. It's been talked about on the podcast before. I don't think you can see it right now, unfortunately, but it was on YouTube for a while. It's called Effing Bottle of Bleach. I'm in it, and so is Kelly. Kelly actually plays my wife in that film. The plot of this film is Kelly is the wife. She starts seeing messages on bleach bottles everywhere, and even if it's not actually a bleach bottle, right? So she sees die is what the first label says, right? But it's just a regular bottle of bleach, right? Then the second bottle she sees says kill yourself, but it's not. It's neither on the actual label, nor is it actually a bleach bottle. It is. I'm going to test your anime knowledge here. A stuffed Chio-chan toy.
Ah.
Do you know the reference?
Not right off. Please.
Okay. It's in anime, and there's a manga associated with this as well called Azumanga Daioh.
Okay.
Chio-chan is like 10 or 11 when the show starts. She's a really, really young girl with pigtails.
In a classroom of otherwise normal high school.
Yeah, otherwise it's high school.
Yes.
It's high school, and she's just that smart that she got into high school at age 10 in Japan. And
that's like a 4-panel comic, though, isn't it? Originally.
Yeah.
And I believe I actually own an omnibus of it, so it's meant to be it's inspired as a comedy, mm-hmm. but you have a piece of merchandise from that, and that's in that film. Okay. It's
Chio-chan is actually crying on this piece of merchandise, and that I think is a reference to there's a sequence in the anime, and I think it's in the manga as well, where Chio-chan and some of the other girls, they go on vacation with their teacher, Miss Yukari. I know this is very unorthodox in the American context, but Yukari's a bad driver. So bad that Chio-chan gets scarred for life just riding in the backseat.
We should talk about that being emotionally scarred.
Yeah.
It being
we ain't as afraid of roller coasters no more. and Chio-chan specifically, when they come back to school, she specifically, please slow down. Please slow down. I don't want to die. No, you're hitting the grandpa. You're hitting the grandpa. So there's that, and my line was, quit being a douche, this is Junior Chio-chan toy. And then next thing, she's making cookies. Again, she sees the cookies as another bleach bottle. Right. And the bleach bottle this time is saying, Joe's cheating on you, Joe is my character. Right. And she shows me the bleach bottle, which then becomes a tray of cookies. And explain this. It's a fucking cookie. It says you're cheating on me. And then the next shot is me eating the cookie, and I hold the cookie up as another bleach bottle. It says "Worship Satan" on the bleach bottle. And then apparently I'm taking a bite into the bleach bottle. It's supposed to be the cookie from my point of view, right? And then it's telling me to worship Satan. And then I play along like, oh yeah, the cookie's starting to talk to me now. Oh, okay. It's telling me you belong in a freaking insane asylum. Apparently this was based on a real-life person that the filmmaker Micah Husaro had experienced in Westports when the IC was meeting in Westports. He ran into this homeless person who yelled and was like, "You fucking bottle of bleach, motherfucker!" And that's some unproduced material for that script. It was intended to be bookended by the woman on the streets yelling, "Yeah, you fucking bottle of bleach, motherfucker!" So,
that scene was never.
That scene was never shot, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But it was a fun little shorts to help with and everything. I did not write it, of course. So I just played the part of Joe.
That was in 2006.
That was probably after 2006. I was working at Silpata at the time, and that was 2007 to 2010.
Okay.
Yeah. So in that time frame, and yeah. All right. So I'll turn the floor over to you if you have any questions for me about.
Well, I know you've been doing podcasts for a little while, but this is the third podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first podcast was Sunflower Brew, political discussion while drinking craft beers, and that ran December of 2012 when I went back to JUCO for the third time. In that case, to study video and TV and all that. And Sunflower Brew ran through, I want to say September of 13, so not quite a full year, but still a lot of fun. That one, of course, Zach Luia was the host, and he was the producer, and asked me to help with production and editing and recording, all that. So all the hard stuff, the not so glamorous stuff that I still do with this podcast to this day. And Wingside Coaches, that was the second podcast, and Chris, by the way, came up with the name. And that started actually near the end of the Sunflower Brew run in 2013, unless I want to say until 16 or 17, maybe 18 even. And that was sports discussion. I've had Tim back on the podcast. Unfortunately, one of the main co-hosts I had with that podcast, Mr. Rylan Lundy, passed away, unfortunately. So, quite a tragic death. He was still quite young at the time.
30?
No, I have been 15. No, I'm sorry. Rylan died in 15, and I still kept going for a little bit longer. And parts of both of those podcasts now live within Uncalled For, because there do come times where I'm just having a drought of guests. However, so I have this material that I still have access to. So, and it's still relevant to what I want to discuss, I want to explore. So yeah, let's recycle it. And I own all the masters, so yeah, there you go. And then this particular podcast, and I'll call for, I started in May 2019, and we've been going since. So clearly we're at 200 episodes here, and just a spoiler alert for everyone listening, we are going beyond 200 episodes. We still had plenty of season 10 to release after this releases. And then we're off to season 11. And I have no intention of stopping anytime soon. Because I'm just having too much fun with this. And all that. So, yeah. Any other questions you have for me here?
Oh, absolutely. I just, for a moment, my mind went blank for a moment there. I should have taken a little bit more time to prepare some more notes. I think it might be important to note about the schedule about what time this would actually be released.
So you'll be listening to this the last weekend of May.
Okay.
All right.
That just as a framing device, because I was going to talk about something that was current. I actually have a coworker who was involved in a robotics tournament.
Cool.
And it's Mill Valley High School, and the robotics tournament is the I apologize, I'm looking that up.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Folks, I look up stuff all the time. Like when I'm doing a thoughts episode and reading articles, I'm actually reading the articles on my computer here while it's recording. So.
Oh, it's First Robotics Competition Heartland Division. It's in Shawnee. This usually it's during spring break, obviously, so that they can have access to more of the facilities. I understand that Thursday is generally a prep day. They do have events on the Friday and then a Saturday. As we are recording, this is actually Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, it blends together. My job, I work second shift, and it's midnight when my day is getting done, so it blends together very, very easily. It's actually Saturday, March 21st.
Today's the 21st. Yes.
Yeah, so just if we're talking about stuff that's happening right now, that needs to be mentioned, despite the release schedule, and so the fact that you learned quite a bit on the production side means that you were able to be more self-sufficient when you started your own podcasts.
Yeah, and it certainly helps that there's a lot of crossover between editing video and editing for podcasts. So the main difference is with video, obviously I'm dealing with the visuals as well. With this, it's just the audio. So a lot of those lessons easily transfer to podcasting. So.
And you were talking about the number of impressions that you've had from the podcast.
Oh yeah, so as of this particular recording, we're over 28,000 downloads, and we've celebrated certain goals like 100, 500,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 25. So yeah, I'm all about celebrating those milestones as well. And of course, we did the 5-year as well, and you were part of that. That was how you got your 3 timers. So, which I'll go and start right there and say 3 timers club does not apply to co-hosts, because with co-hosts they're expected to be on more than 3 times. Let's be honest. So.
I was not aware of what the expectations of a co-host were, but it's important that expectations are set.
Yeah. And it's a lot of it is just coming off the fly, because I haven't had that many people be part of the 3 timers club. So obviously you're one of them. Luke and Dan, obviously part of it. Brian Boy, George, Dean, when Amy joins us later, she'll be part of the Three Timers Club. Coach Dalton and Brianne are also in the Three Timers Club. Yeah. And what's interesting is just the variety of people have brought on. So
because this is more of a general interest podcast, it's not necessarily aimed at politics, not necessarily aimed at.
So I'll talk politics, I'll talk religion, I'll talk film and acting with people, I'll talk chess with some of my coworkers, and
sports somewhere in there, I'm sure.
There's definitely sports in there. So
just
my first co-host actually walked away from the podcast because I was talking about sports too much.
Well, just to no one's going to know that both you and I are wearing sports paraphernalia right now unless we tell them. You're actually a graduate of Shawnee Mission East.
Shawnee Mission West.
I'm
a Viking now, Lance.
Okay, well, I'm going to get my facts wrong. Mm-hmm. Especially, even though I can see you're wearing a cap with their name.
It very clearly says Shawnee Mission West Vikings.
Yes, well, I'm going to tell you, people who talk to me enough know that I confuse East and West all the time, even when I'm talking about directions.
Yeah.
That's just something that happens. But the other thing you're wearing is for
Aston Villa Football Club,
which is in
Birmingham in England.
My shirt is actually just from Savers, and it's
a chicken hawk shirt. Otherwise known as the University of Kansas Jayhawks. So.
But also, it's for baseball,
it's for baseball. Yeah,
which is, and I found that at a secondhand store. So I didn't pay any more than for any other shirt that I got there. It's just the quality of material and however they wanted to price it. So yeah.
So of course, our regular listeners to the podcast also know I'm a UMKC grad, University of Missouri Kansas City, which does not have football and does not have baseball. Interesting enough, and that's funny because the UMKC man was involved in the baseball player strike of '94, and then later that entire lockout season in the NHL. I want to say 2005. Of course, I'm about Don Fear, who was an East grad before going to UMKC, and whose son David, I did try to do some film with. David's an actor and a really good guy. That's one of my security stories. I actually met Don Fair once. So.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. It should be said that the University of Missouri at Kansas City does have a basketball team.
Division I basketball, yeah.
And they are the what is it? Short for Kangaroos.
Yeah, so officially for a long time we were Kangaroos, and then the last few years they officially dropped it to just Roos, which is what we were calling ourselves informally anyway. So
what color is the mascot? And
our school colors are blue and gold.
Okay.
Yep. Which JUCO's colors, JUCO's the Cavaliers, and they are also now blue and gold, because when we were first going there, it was a burgundy and gold.
Yes.
Yeah, Washington football colors. So they switched to blue and gold when I returned for the third time to do video and all that. And of course, just to complete the triad, Shawnee Mission West colors are black and gold. So.
Now we're like I said at the start of this podcast, it's the 21st of March. So we're the sports world. The primary focus right now is the National Collegiate Athletics.
The same picks I gave earlier this week.
What does NCAA stand for?
National Collegiate Athletics Association.
Okay.
Of which there are hundreds of schools, and these are specifically the schools in Division I.
Okay.
Right.
Which includes UMKC.
Which includes UMKC and a lot of the other big schools that people have heard of, most likely. So.
And most of these are broken down by...
there are 31 conferences right now.
Mm-hmm.
Each one has at least an automatic bid. In order to get that automatic bid, you have to win a conference tournament. But the big name schools like KU, University of Missouri, Columbia, and Kansas State, these are what we're talking about with big schools, right? UMKC is what would be classed as a mid-major, so it's not a big school, but it is Division One.
How are they determining that by the number of enrollment?
I'm sure enrollment has something to do with it, but really, if we're talking about what makes a school big, everything it probably has to do with the prestige of that institution and its sports programs.
Which a good portion of it, besides the level of attendance, is obviously funding. Obviously.
Yeah, and some blend. It's not entirely public schools, and there are some private schools in there too. So, heck, if we're going, I'll use the Big 12 as an example. So KU, K-State, those are public schools, obviously. But also in that conference is Brigham Young University, right, which is associated with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Baylor University in this conference, they're, I think, a Baptist college, actually. And then you have Texas Christian College, TCU. I've always been a fan of University of Notre Dame, which is very famously a Catholic school. Independent in football, but it's ACC and everything else. And of course, the Dukies are in the ACC as well, and that's a private school, too, Duke University.
I just want to give this a little bit more of a flair because I appreciate the time that we took ahead of the broadcast. You were looking at all your statistics. You had at least 1.8% of your overall impressions being within the last
in the month of March 2026.
That's that, and you also have a fair amount of international.
Yeah, and we've done international recordings. So what's available as of this recording, as you're listening to this, my first ever international recording was the Cronky Out episode. British guy living in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and that was a lot of fun. Several Canadian guests, right? And this is spoiler for Chris, but not spoiler if you're listening when this comes out. So we had a guest calling from Honduras, and another one from Nicaragua. And spoiler for season 11, we'll have one calling in from China. So.
You're not above or below impersonations.
Yeah. Which is white person coming in from China. That is the limits of my Donnie impression is intentionally bad.
Well, yes, there's a lot to be there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said there.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I have nothing particular on that subject for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I am not too involved in behind the scenes. Perhaps this being the 200th episode, what are some of your favorite episodes? What are some of the struggles you've had in making this particular podcast? What continues to drive you, and what continues to drive you mad about making the podcast?
All right. So I maintain my favorite episode of all time is with Conrado, chess guy. What was interesting about that was we recorded that while driving. Do not try this at home. Just I had my phone recording it, and then just edited after we're done. And what was especially special about that episode was basically driving was now the riverfront extension of the streetcar. Before I even knew they were putting a track on that part of the road. Past that dog bar that is now closed, unfortunately, and we're commenting on it. I was like, yeah, it looks like they built shipping containers. Conrado, yeah, you bring your dog, you get drunk, and the dog take you back home. Yeah, that's a fun one. My favorite moment, my favorite quote of the podcast came when I had Jamie Morrow on. Jamie is a local actress who spent time in Hollywood and was fairly recently president of the IFC. And I asked her what genre of films would you like to work in, and her answer was, well, is paid a genre? I think I might include these trailers in the final edit, but yeah, that's a funny moment. Bringing experts on, I want to give a shout out to Marnie and Nick, Marnie Stockman and Nick Caniglia, who both came on. They wrote a book called Lead It Like Lasso. It's in Ted Lasso. It's in Sean Mission West's own Jason Sudeikis. He based the character off of our basketball coach and my geometry teacher, Donnie Campbell. And they were just interested in hearing stories about Campbell and then going into more detail about me and stuff that was a lot of fun. And all roads lead to Mr. Campbell.
It was interesting what you're saying because they were as interested in hearing about your experience as you were about them, but it was primarily, but a good portion of that interaction was understanding your interaction for the real world personality that inspired a fictional character.
Yeah.
They still got that was one of the strong intentions.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I had a year overlap with Sudeikis at West. He was a senior, I was a freshman, and actually never met the guy, so, but I did have Campbell, absolutely. And that is one of my long-term goals with this podcast. I still want to get Sudeikis and Paul Rudd, both West guys, on the podcast at some point. So if anyone at the Big Slick is listening, yeah, I tried emailing you guys last year and never heard back from you. So yeah, if I had a dream guest to bring on, that would certainly be it. With a minor, I'd say secondarily, Travis Kelce, I'd like to bring on too, and it's going to be a minor spoiler for those listening live, but the week after this releases, we'll have Jason Ward on. Jason is one of my co-workers at the Kansas City Chess Club, who happens to live in the same neighborhood that Travis Kelce was living in at the time he started dating the pop star. In fact, I had to drive by Kelsey's old house to get to Jason's to do that interview. So it was all fun. And speaking of Jason, speaking of Travis Kelce, there is a moment on his podcast where he actually read something that I wrote and read verbatim. And funnily enough, Conrado is kind of involved with this story too. So the full story is I was picking Conrado up. I still had plenty of time to kill, so I stopped by this diner in Edwardsville where Conrado lives. The place called Grill 32. K32 is right there.
Kansas Highway 32.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. This would be that portion between K7 and I-435.
On the Kansas side of the Kansas City metropolitan area.
Yes, and north of the Kansas River. So yeah, I stopped by this diner, which is in the old post office building there. And saw on the menu they had something called the New Heights Club.
Which is probably a club sandwich, am I understanding that?
That's correct.
It's
a triple-decker sandwich.
Oh, wow.
The top part is basically a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh.
Because...
this thing's tall.
Yeah, I've said it was about as tall as this microphone.
Let's see. We're probably talking... Oh, let's see here. I'm trying to do conversion to international units, but we're talking about we're let's just use standard, and we're talking about a sandwich that's like 4 inches tall.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So yeah, the top part is Philly cheesesteak.
That would be 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters tall. Yeah.
And the bottom part is basically a BLT, but they put lunch meat on it. They put barbecue sauce on it, and they put some trace amount of mayonnaise on it. And so Travis Kelce read that verbatim on New Heights. And Jason Kelce, who was playing for Philadelphia at the time, hence the Philly cheesesteak part of it, is like, well, that sounds good, but other than the mayo, and personally I like the mayonnaise, but Travis, he doesn't like the mayo. And then that led to, I'm going to spare you the detail. I'm going to spare you the noise, but I'm going to tell everyone to go to YouTube and search Mayo ASMR. And the clip is Mayo ASMR featuring Travis Kelce. I just hear somebody whipping it. And no, I'm not going to do the noise, but the caption of that video says unholy whipping noises. And they bring that back from time to time. Anytime they mention mayonnaise on that show, so
they have that as a cue key on their. I think a lot of streamers and everything, they have their board set up where they can press a button and call up the sound effect.
No, except Travis does the sound effects himself. So, yeah.
Okay.
So. Yeah, anytime mayonnaise is mentioned on that show, he'll do that noise. So.
That is delightfully absurd.
Yeah.
That is. I'm reminded that you did part of your professional career was as a camera operator and working in the studio of Kansas City Public Television, Channel 19.
Woohoo! Yep. And it's a good time to tell people, donate to your local PBS stations and NPR for that matter. So, especially after what Donnie did to funding for public media. Those are outlets that really could use all the help they can get, and if you can give... if you can donate, please do. So, because the stuff that the individual stations do, that's mostly going to be for local consumption. Stuff like Sesame Streets and all that does get beamed in, true. But that's the first thing I remember Nick Haynes ever telling me when I was there was that we only do local stuff here at this station. So.
One of the local series that has I think picked up a little bit of an international following is Rare Visions and Roadside Revelations.
Okay, was that PBS?
That was KCPT, correct?
All right, yeah. I think I have the full DVD of that. I just haven't seen it. I think Randy Mason worked on that. And I did work with Randy during that internship. So, yep.
also part of your involvement in Kansas City Public Television has also made you more more aware of community and more but also it's probably your involvement with the Independent Film Club, but also you certainly have a point of view on civics and the more of the community, especially on the Missouri side of the state line than I do.
Well, I got on both sides of the state line, but on certain subjects, yeah, because I also work in Missouri for the chess club and all that, and I am cognizant of the fact that half of our metro area is in Kansas and the other half is in Missouri. So it would behoove me to know what all's going on in my community, regardless of which side of the state line it is. So
I will put it to the fact that can we say how many of the last Super Bowls, 6, I believe. What recently, many of the last few years, the Super Bowl has included the Kansas City Chiefs.
5 have included the local football team, including the aforementioned Travis Kelce, of which they won 3. But you also have to go back 50 years for their last appearances. So if you take all their appearances, they've appeared in 7, of which they've won 4. They lost the very first one to Green Bay. Then they won Super Bowl 4 against Minnesota, and then 50 years, no appearances. So then all of a sudden they're in 5 of 6 Super Bowls, and they win 3 of them. It's beat San Francisco, lose to Tampa, then beat Philadelphia, beat San Francisco again, and then lose to Philadelphia.
Which Andy Reid was the former coach when he joined in 10. Was that right?
I don't know what year but he was the coach in Philadelphia. I think 99 was his first year coaching in Philly. He drafted Donovan McNabb, who was one of my favorite players of all time. Not necessarily tied to any one particular team, and I was a St. Louis fan, so. So from that angle, you could say I'm a closet Philly guy.
The other major sports team being the Kansas City Royals. Now it had been the last time they went to the World Series and were victorious. Well, they went in 14 and
they lost in 14, won in 15.
But they made it to the World Series
So the Royals have been to the World Series 4 times.
Okay.
Right. First time, 1980, losing to Philly. 85, of course, beating the Cardinals in 7, and Cardinals fans will still talk about Game 6 of that series to this day. And they think, honestly, I'm just going to say it, if you're going to reverse Dinkinger's call in Game 6, you have to reverse Galarraga, the Detroit pitcher that got robbed of a perfect game. You have to give him a perfect... If you're going to give him a perfect game, you give Game 6 of 87 to the Cardinals, therefore retroactively stripping the Royals of a World Series win, because the Cards were up 3-2 at that point. But after that call, the Cards just choked. The Royals come back to win it, and then they do nothing in Game 7. Right. Then 29 years between, never mind World Series appearances, playoff appearances total. Right. So 14 they lost to San Francisco, and 15 the year the Cubs were supposed to win, according to a certain movie. That's when they beat the Mets.
One of the other major sport franchises, they're currently called Sporting KC.
Oh, yeah.
But they've had some more colorful names in the past.
Casey Wizards, and Sporting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, during my internship at KCPT, I got to meet Kai Kamara when he was playing for Sporting. He got to sit in on an interview with the aforementioned Nick Haynes. So I noticed the governor didn't shake your hand. Oh, don't worry about it, Nick. Oh, I thought you might have liked to meet someone who likely voted for him. No, I voted for that guy. Oh, you're the one. Nick Haynes is Welsh, by the way, if you couldn't tell by my accent there. So,
I'm afraid I could not.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, especially locally, still think he's English. He is definitely British, but he is Welsh. Yeah. So and then a more recent, current player, Dejan Jovalic. Turns out he's a good chess player. He's been to the chess club once, and Sporting brought a video crew with him to that. So you get to see him certainly on the Sporting YouTube channel. You can find this video. But he's playing blitz chess with some of our members, including a couple of friends of the podcast, Coach Dalton and Nick Manley. And then at the very end of the video, you see me gift Jovalic an honorary membership to the Kansas City Chess Club. And talking with my boss recently, it sounds like he's taking advantage of it with private lessons. So we'll send one of our instructors to his house for him to get his chess in and everything. So that's really cool to hear. So, and one of the stories I went into making this podcast with is another friend of the podcast, actually a guy I got on just before I got you on for the first time, Trevor Martin. Trevor did a Minsky's commercial with Graham Zusi.
Minsky's being particularly Midwestern style pizza. Mm-hmm. And part of the thing is that there was a schism and they ended up being two separate companies, I think. Am I remembering?
I'm not too sure about the entire... I'm not sure the entire history of Minsky's, but they are a higher quality pizza than you would find at Pizza Hut or something. And they do great pasta, too. But this particular commercial, Graham Zusi with Sporting was delivering a pizza to a family. And Trevor played the dad in that commercial. So I thought... Yeah, I got Trevor on, so I'm going to ask him about that commercial, and he told me all about the behind the scenes. That's people just outside of acting, they don't get to hear these stories. So,
and I was bringing up the Chiefs and the Royals and Sporting KC. What, like I said, just playing to the fact that you do have some people who do listen internationally. I was looking at the ways that Kansas City is, it draws world interest. One of the other things that came to mind, of course, is Liberty Memorial, also known as the National World War I Memorial.
Yeah, World War I Museum and Memorial is the official name of that streetcar stop now. So,
and that was a fantastic dovetail because up until the 60s, Kansas City did have a very nice streetcar system.
Oh yeah. It ran until it was actually like 50s, and like so many other streetcar systems throughout the U.S., they were bought out and paved over to force everyone to start driving. Now KC's current streetcar that started this will be the 10th year of it operating because it opened May 2016. With just that first starter line between Union Station and the River Market. And
this is being on the south side of the Missouri River.
Yes, yeah, south side of the Missouri River, exactly. So.
And it's still not everyone is aware that Kansas City is Kansas City, Missouri, and then there are cities in Wyandotte County, Kansas, that incorporated and became Kansas City, Kansas.
Correct.
And you can say Kansas City, and most people are going to understand Kansas City, Missouri. But whenever you talk about Kansas City in Kansas, everybody says Kansas City, Kansas, or simply KCK.
KCK, yeah. KCK if you're a local here. And we'll occasionally say KC Mo to refer to the Kansas City, Missouri. So.
I'm going to say I had the privilege of trying to ride the streetcar. However, I do not travel to downtown Kansas City very often, and I did not plan well. I was not sure where to park.
Okay.
And but
well, with the new extension, you don't have to worry about parking because you can park on the plaza for free. So the Main Street extension, oh yeah, you can hear. I got audio for that. That's been released at this point. From when that extension opened, because I was there, and yeah, it runs now from the extension's UMKC to Union Station. The plaza has the second to last stop on the line, UMKC, so UMKC and then the plaza. And the plaza, you could park there for free. Walk to the plaza streetcar stop and just get on the streetcar there.
one of the major things, again, that is going to bring Kansas City into the international spotlight is the fact that many of the games of this year's World Cup are being hosted in the U.S.
Yep.
What is your take on the city's ability to support that influx of people, and what is your opinion on the streetcar adding to that, and what do you think the experience is going to be? What do you think of how what's your impression of the city's ability to host and the way that they have designed the venues, etc.?
Okay, so the games are going to be played at Arrowhead, which there's no streetcar or any sort of rail access there. So a couple of years ago, the Streetcar Authority, in conjunction with the Area Transit Authority, started an east-west study. The western side of which would be KU Med, the eastern end of which was the stadiums. However, they determined no rails going to be running on that corridor before 2032 at the earliest, and B, there's a gap between the existing bus stop over at Van Brunt and the Sames themselves, that the population density is not there to justify a rail at this time. So they thought, well, let's just run a bus between the two once this line is up and running. But it'll be a while before that line is even up and running. And unfortunately, I think it's going to take, I don't think we're going to see much funding for that before January of 2029. Because we have a dipshit in the office right now who thinks, among other things, that's the noise from windmills causes cancer.
You're specifically talking about the U.S. president.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't know much about politics on the state level. I don't know what opinion you have of the Missouri governor. I don't have enough information to have an opinion on that.
The last governor of Missouri I really had much of a high opinion of was Jay Nixon.
And that was
that he was last in office in 2016.
Okay.
So
okay.
All right. So I don't have a very good opinion about the current guy. Kehoe is the guy's name.
Okay.
Well, I see him saying, well, we're going to we're going to get rid of income tax in Missouri. Well, how are you going to make up for that? Just saying, I don't want to get into a big political discussion here, but that's basically what he's trying to push. Never mind. Okay, yes, you do have two major cities within your city limits, Kansas City and St. Louis. Other than that, you don't have much in terms of industry or tourism. It's certainly affected. These are things that states like Texas and Florida can get away with, and Nevada can get away with because those industries do so well. Name me an industry that does that well in Missouri. Kansas already tried this shit about 10 years ago, and that failed miserably. So.
And that was why I was asking, because I am not knowledgeable on this, and I appreciate any take on it. What do you think of the ability for the road systems, the public transit besides the streetcar to handle?
Well, when's the last time you took a bus around here?
Well, I'm going to say I am pretty much exclusively on the Kansas side. I have lived in the suburbs on the Kansas side my whole life, and most of the time I drive to get anywhere. And
because you have to. Because the buses, certainly on this side of the state line, are a joke. All right. So yeah, hopefully we get more rail in coming years, but that's the key thing, is it's going to take years to get that sort of infrastructure put in.
But they've done the studies.
Oh, they're doing the studies. They're doing at least 3. The Streetcar Authority themselves are doing at least 3 studies right now for future lines.
But the one you were talking about specifically,
it's called East West, and it would go.
The other thing is that the numbered streets in Kansas City, Missouri, they count going north and south from where the Missouri River runs
from
east
Missouri
and
River.
west.
So from Missouri River, one closest to Missouri all the way down, and then north of the river, same thing in reverse. And then KCK is weird because it's the north-south streets are numbered.
Mm-hmm. Specifically, the corridor that you were talking about that was going to be under study, and we would probably not see anything until 2032, is along 39th Street.
39th Street's between Main Street and Rainbow Boulevard, which is KU Med.
Yes.
And then the other part of that study is Linwood Boulevard, which is also east-west from Main Street to Van Brunt.
This is, I don't know how much this will interest listeners, but it was important to be specific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's one of the 3 studies the Streetcar Authority are working on. So the another one's called North Rail, which would take it from the River Market Loop. It would extend the loop a little bit more east towards Columbus Park, and then take it across Heart of America into North KC.
Now, review with me.
North KC is the suburb. KC North is anything in Kansas City proper, north of the Missouri River.
Oh, yes, but the Heart of America Bridge, which U.S. highway is that? Or which
it's State Highway 9.
Oh, that sounds right. Because I know we have U.S. 169.
Mm-hmm. That's Buck O'Neill Bridge, which just reopened, and then they closed part of that down anyway, because not so much the new bridge, rather the old bridge just on the other end of the downtown airport, near Briarcliff. Needed to be fixed.
How long ago was it that they
like within the last year that bridge opened?
And they used to have a bridge that was built in the 50s, and that was the bridge for I-35 or what became I-35 over the Missouri River.
Yeah.
And they replaced that, and that was called the Casey Icon Bridge, or is there another?
The Kit Bond Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, named after Missouri Center.
Mm-hmm. So. And then
that's 35 and I-29 too. So 29 actually starts at that point.
Okay.
And they diverge
further north, yeah.
Slightly further north, yes. Yeah. So 35 towards Liberty, 29 towards the airports, Platte City, St. Joe.
And technically through the Dakotas.
Yeah. 29 goes to the Dakotas. Yeah.
I-35 going up to Des Moines and then ending
Des Moines, Minneapolis, and up to
does it actually
up to
go
about Duluth, I think.
Yeah, which was the farm.
And of course, 35 continues south. In Wichita, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin,
and
San Antonio, all the way to the Mexico border.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten where. Tell me about. Are you watching any of the World Cup games that are hosted here locally? Do you have any favorites coming up, or?
To be determined, because I know there's still some spots that are going to be filled. And of course, you heard we're hosting 3 of those national teams here in Kansas City, not including Algeria, because that's Lawrence. All right, and I want to get that out of the way right now. If there's about half an hour of rural space between metropolitan areas, you ain't part of the metropolitan area. Sorry to tell you that. I'm sick of these people saying Lawrence is they're essentially a KC suburb. No. For exactly the reason I just said. So, Lawrence is their own thing.
Which is also where the University of Kansas is.
Yes. Yeah, that's about the only notable thing about Lawrence right now. Is that's where KU is located. So, St. Joe, same arguments. There's about in that case is about an hour of rural space between about Platte City and St. Joe. So.
I'm going to guess that perhaps I know people who have paid to view who have bought seats. Yeah. What are do you have any opinions?
Well, funny you mention that because my sister was in the hospital last weekend.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
Yeah, sounds like something similar to what put me in the hospital a few years ago. So, TIA. I think it was a nurse came in and talked with my sister about what was going on. Turns out he was a football fan, by Miami Association football, of course. And turns out he's a Manchester United fan. One of the great things of English football. So, but he specifically was not happy about having to pay $3,000 for the cheapest seats at Arrowhead for World Cup. Well, of course, we need to keep in mind too, since you asked me about transit, yeah, they need to really have buses running right now. I think buses are a good alternative in lieu of rail, but they cannot be a replacement for rail. The powers that be that happen to be hearing this, I expect studies on implementing rail on these fucking lines within the next 10 years. All right, especially if the World Cup becomes an indication that we should be doing so, because a lot of the people that are coming in are used to some form of rail transit, especially if they're coming in from London. Because we'll have the English here, we'll have the Dutch here, and we'll have Argentina here. And I think the Dutch have a pretty good public transit as well. I'm not sure about Argentina, and of course England, especially in London, they've figured out how to do rail transits.
In your experience, have you traveled internationally? Have you traveled many other places? And what is your opinion?
Only in the U.S.
Okay.
Only I've never been overseas. What I know about, particularly London's transits, get from YouTube. Shout out to Jeff Marshall and Jay Foreman.
Other metropolitan areas that you've gone to?
St. Louis.
Okay.
St. Louis, I took Metrolink while I was there. And, I like it. Coming from the Dome out to the Galleria in the suburbs and then safely back. Well, that's... So, yeah, I will recommend Metrolink in St. Louis.
I didn't know if you'd gone to any other large cities or...
Well, the largest city I've been to is Chicago, and my experience there is limited solely to around the airports.
Okay. For you, Chicago was a stop.
Oh, yeah, a couple of times. So.
Okay.
The first time would have been when I was very briefly in the Navy. Naval train station is just north of Chicago. And had to fly in there. So. And the second time, I think, is the time we're thinking about that was 2008 when I was forced to change planes there, going to and from Minneapolis. And I was on the flight back. I got diverted to San Antonio. So, yeah.
Well, I am not nearly as far traveled. Mm-hmm. I've been to Houston, but that was because there was we were staying at a recreational place near there it was connected with my parents' church. That was a very long time ago. Mm-hmm. That was 1991.
Oh wow!
That was the only time I've flown is from Kansas City to Houston and
Continental or hobby?
You
don't remember?
Oh yeah, it was Continental.
Continental.
Yeah.
I've flown in there a couple of times because I have relatives in Houston. So, in fact, as of this recording, my uncle has been dead for a couple of years now, and I've greatly benefited from his estate. We're currently trying to sell his house, which is in the Houston suburbs. And, oh boy, it's taking a while. I'm not going to go into too many specifics, just that stepchildren are involved. So,
well, you bring up another good point. I know of people who are trying to... So, the other development with the Kansas City Chiefs is that there has been... so, there was a referendum was it 2024?
Yeah. A lot of stupid people not wanting to go downtown for baseball.
And part of this...
But they're going to wind up downtown anyway. Get used to it, folks.
Part of this was it was an increase in the sales tax.
It was a continuation of the current sales tax.
Okay. And basically, neither the Chiefs organization nor the Royals organization or whomever was trying to promote the tax was able to promote it successfully. It was defeated.
Yeah, it's mostly the Royals trying to get that tax done because it would have paid for their new ballpark. The Chiefs would have benefited by being able to stay at the Truman Sports Complex, but a lot of people think it was sabotaged from the beginning by a certain county executive who shall remain nameless, but we'll just say was a legend with the Royals back in the day.
And that's Jackson County, Missouri.
Yes.
Specifically. The other thing is that the Kansas City Chiefs, at some point in the near future, they will likely no longer be at Arrowhead Stadium in the Truman Sports Complex.
That's correct. The current news you're hearing about that is that the state of Kansas gave them a stadium deal, which would the stadium site itself will be just to the immediate west of Village West,
which is where the Kansas Speedway, which opened in 2001, and has I'm going to read from their marketing materials, has one of the best guest experiences but they're in the Sporting KC
Sporting KC
also
is there.
plays out there, and then they also have a minor league baseball field.
Minor league ballpark, yeah. So,
But this is creating an interesting situation for anyone in that area because it is the what we may find happening to residents are higher property taxes.
oh yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah.
So
Or
there are some people who are
I'd
simply
be-
trying to sell homes and move so they don't have to deal with it. This is a thing that is happening in Wyandotte County.
Yeah, and a little bit in Johnson County too, because this deal includes a new training facility out in Olathe.
Which that there's a currently there's a so that's
There's nothing on the site they're talking about right now. Maybe
Well,
maybe an
you're-
old farm.
well-
Maybe an old farm, but that's
but nearby you have the Olathe convention center, and you also have
yeah.
there's another sports facility near
Yeah,
there.
it's soccer fields.
Okay,
Soccer fields, and yeah, there's some shops immediately to the north of that site, but the site itself is currently just farmland.
and vaguely on the infrastructure improvements there, they redid the interchange with Ridgeview and Kansas Highway 10.
Yep.
It's a diverging
Yes.
diamond
Yeah.
where the traffic crosses over to
course.
the opposite side of the bridge so that oncoming
Yeah.
and so the traffic the right turn lanes can more easily enter and exit the highway. Interestingly, the first interchange of that kind was actually in Springfield, Missouri in 2009.
Oh, cool.
And
Yeah, we've already seen a couple of these types of interchanges around here, like 95th Street over I-35.
on the Kansas side, also Row Avenue.
Row Avenue over 435.
And Homestead Road, very out south near by the intermodal facility, way out south in Johnson County.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I went out there just to see what that was, and then for me that's pretty far out to drive, so I got lost pretty easily out there.
Okay.
Yeah, well, there's others, but those are
Those are the ones that come to mind. So
Yeah.
You're going to have to tell me exactly where that interchange is that you're talking about.
Oh, it's primarily for heavy truck traffic
Right.
from rail to truck, and so it's designed to be dealing with. I don't know what that used to be, but yeah, of course, there's been a lot of areas that have Richard Gebauer, that former airport.
Yeah, that's South Casey, almost Belton area.
That's become an intermodal facility from truck to rail. There was also the former Sunflower Ammunition Plant.
Yeah, and the DeSoto, yeah.
That is now going to, in the next few years, that is going to be a battery production facility for Panasonic.
They've already built the facility, and it's just on the northern edge of the old plants. And yeah, you can, I've actually seen that warehouse been built the last time I tried to drive out west. So in conjunction with my uncle's passing, they needed a birth certificate from me, so I had to go out to Topeka to pick up a valid copy of that. So.
That is just on a commentary. Unfortunately, that is an unfortunate problem of the difficulty of being born on one side of the state line versus the other. For a birth certificate in the state of Kansas, you do have to go to the state capital, and if you live, that is not so bad here on the east side of the state, because it is only about an hour's
It's
drive.
about
from
an hour and a half.
From,
about an hour and a half between Kansas City and Topeka.
Yeah,
You
but
have to go through Lawrence, which is about halfway. But yeah, Jefferson City, for our listeners born in Missouri, is right smack in the middle of the state.
however, you don't actually have to go that far.
It's 2 hours.
Well, but if you were born there, you don't necessarily have to go that far. I'm going to confess, I have been raised on the Kansas side, and I have plenty of the ideas about Kansas, but I was actually born in Missouri. So,
All right.
so you take from that what you will. I there you go on that one.
That's totally fine, you know.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying. I was born in Missouri, but I have unfortunately learned to have negative ideas about Missouri. That just being on the Kansas side.
I've got those on both sides of the state line, actually.
Well, which means that you have a more you have a broader set of negative opinions, and that shows growth.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And I've said this before. Outside of Kansas City, St. Louis is my favorite city outside the area. So yeah. Wow, we've been talking for almost an hour. Probably a little over an hour. So I think we're going to wrap this segment up here. And so thanks once again for being on.
Absolutely, and thank you for the. I've enjoyed at least 3 different varieties here.
Right.
That pretzel bagel was, and hey, the fact that they have these with fruit in them, that is also very special.
Yeah, the cinnamon raisin is one of my favorites, as well as that pretzel. So, yeah.
But thank you for the opportunity to join you again.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so we continue with our episode 200 extravaganza, and I'm joined by a friend of the podcast, Amy Bell.
Hi.
And her friend, Amy, what?
I wish. Amanda Feriante.
Amanda Feriante. Amy, before we continue, congratulations on being the newest member of the Three Timers Club.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah. So the Three Timers Club just have to show up on the podcast 3 times.
Oh, okay. So I'm 2 away.
You're 2 away.
I'll get there. I'll get there.
You'll get
I'll
there.
get there. Yeah. You'll never catch me, though. It's possible. I'll never get to be an Amy 2. We have been joking around the office this week about how everyone who works here is named Amy now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we even do it. We
Yeah.
even do it.
Yes.
She tried to convince me she was Amy 1 earlier this week.
I want superiority. I want to be first.
No.
Yeah. And, of course, partners at the fine law firm of Feriante and Bell.
Yes.
And the co-hosts of the podcast, These Are Bad Movies, which we are also working on this evening. And we are going to be doing a screening of the movie Network from 1976, directed by, I think it's Sidney. I'm going to double check my IMDb, but Sidney Lumet, written by Patty Chayefsky, that I do know, and includes a few actors we have heard of, including Faye Dunaway, William Holden, Ned Beatty.
I'm feeling very uncultured. I've heard of one of those. I don't know if I've ever seen Faye Dunaway.
I know the names, but I'm an old, right?
I'm so young. I'm a fetus.
Basically,
Yeah.
Basically. I'm really excited to see it, though.
It sounds great.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm really excited for this, and I'm excited for this 200th episode extravaganza
Oh, yeah.
that we're doing here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think we're a ways away from you on
I think
that
so.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of podcasts don't even reach the 200 mark.
Exactly.
Heck, I don't even think the Kelsey brothers have reached 200 yet, but they keep going at it and all that. So,
You just keep going. Just keep going.
yeah. So we're going to pause, and then we'll come back and give you our review of this still relevant movie from 50 years ago. So,
All right.
Awesome.
And you have meddled with the primal forces of nature. And you will atone.
All right. We are back, and we watched that movie.
I sort of loved it. I loved it. I love a melodrama.
Yeah, I know you do.
I was waiting the entire time for someone to just start strangling the person across from them.
right.
Okay.
That would have made the movie for me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, what we saw was pretty much a lot of what happens stereotypically in newsrooms. It's been a while since I've been in a TV studio, but I don't remember being that cutthroat. Then again, it was public television.
I might be the only one here. I thought the movie was terrible.
Why? Part. It was amazing entertainment. It was a little.
Okay,
It was a little long.
It was entertaining. I think it was almost an hour longer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
And that hour, the reason it wasn't so much that it was dragging in that hour as that they decided to throw in some plot lines that, frankly,
Didn't need to be there.
yeah, and I mean, it started off so strong. Like, it started off as fantastic commentary on the media and the news and who gets to decide what you hear in the news and how the ratings are and this. And then it devolved into just
A spring-winter romance?
and, like, also some bizarre, well, actually, the media is run by a bunch of communists, which is a bizarre take.
It was. I mean, the other version is power equals money, and money is power, which corrupts.
Sure, but there was a literal communist party that they were meeting with,
Yes.
and the executives were in the communist party.
Yes, it was hilarious.
Yeah, it
Sorry.
was so bad though. Like how like it was so bad.
Well, and so, okay.
And the like May December romance is what I think you're trying to say there with
Spring chicken, winter chicken.
There's all chickens.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It was so bad though. Like it was just
I love you, but you're not capable of love.
do you think she loves you? I don't think she's capable of love. No kidding. No kidding. With the and then like just the stereotype of like woman that sleeps her way to the top.
I think the plot was she was going to be on top regardless. Sorry.
that note, I think we'll call it a night. We'll call it a podcast. We're never doing this again.
Oh, yeah.
We had a good run.
So, what I liked, because I'd never seen it before, I'd seen the first big scene of get up and yell and get angry.
Yeah.
And
I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore.
yes, and I've seen it parodied to great effect. And so, like, really loved that. But it was the boardroom, the corporate boardroom scene that I really delighted in.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, Ned Beatty, that you have melded with the primal forces of nature and
Amazing.
you will atone.
Amazing. It's, you have a capitalist who sees an insane man and is like, I know how to steer this ship.
And I think that explains Fox News and some of these other, and this was, of course, Fox News didn't become a thing until the late 90s. So this is 20 years ahead of its time in that regard, with corporations dictating the news and all that. And I think the communist angle is interesting too, because what's something else you hear in parallel with, Fox News being a thing? Oh, the mainstream media has a liberal bias. Like, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, no. It's and I think they knew in 1976 that it wasn't. Oh no.
No, it's a hypothetical world where money is the only driving force in anything, which is how you get that boardroom speech.
Yeah.
But it's not a hypothetical world. They were commenting on our very, very, very real world, and they were very, very, very close to absolute most true reality, and they just
missed it.
They like
they just skirted past it.
They ripped defeat from the jaws of victory on this one.
Yeah. Well, and the hour leading up to that scene, I just had it in my head over and over and over again, like a 100 Gex song, Money Machine. Like, it's because it's everyone vying for power over each other in this corporate TV network. And then you finally get the crazy guy who's like, yeah, money, shut up, or say what we want, because money.
The first half was so good.
Yes.
The first half, they had me in the first half, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Where it came back around for me is in the last 2 minutes, where we got the greatest screensaver effect I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, this show predicted AI TikToks, where it's just color and lights, and that's entertainment.
And then it turned out my TV had gone to sleep, and there was no
we were just getting
screensaver. It wasn't that profound.
Yeah.
But, so I'm pretty sure, that's not how it ends and all that.
And I'm just like, no, this is the only ending. This is the only way it could end, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not just Fox News that it kind of it did kind of predict corporate media ownership, which is why the idea of left-wing media bias is bullshit, because most of our media is owned by corporations. NBC, that's Comcast. CNN, that's Time Warner, Discovery, or whatever's going on there. I know Paramount's trying to buy them out, which would open a whole different can of worms. Paramount itself owns CBS, Disney owning ABC, of course Fox. So.
Yeah. Have you seen? I think it was a John Oliver segment a couple years ago that was about these large corporations buying out local news media, and the same scripts being sent to every little news station on the same issues, and you can literally play it one for one across 100 screens.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the Sinclair Group is the most responsible for that, and they're notoriously right wing and all that. So
I mean that's the part where this movie was so hit the nail right on the head. Absolutely understood where things were going. Absolutely understood. And they even called it the propaganda machine. And that's what it is. And it does tell people how to think and how to feel about things. Even, I mean,
the murder hour, the violence hour that they talk about in the first 5 minutes of, hey, we should really get like public executions on here. That would be great ratings. I'm like, okay, so the 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
Easy.
And I mean, you know, I think that having news without bias is almost impossible because there's bias in what you choose to report on. There's bias on who you report as the victim versus the perpetrator.
Right.
How you know, just frame any little thing. There's bias. I mean, I strongly believe that even the Walter Cronkites had bias, right? Yeah. But it was different, wasn't it? It was different than what we have now.
It was. So, first of all, Cronkites, you know, he was cousins with Kay Barnes, the former mayor of Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Really, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And two, I know exactly what you're talking about with the whole bias thing, because I interned at our local public television station, and first time I ever met Nick Haynes during my internship there, he said, you know, we only focus on the local stuff at this station, and it doesn't get any more perception of left-wing bias than public television, but I'm telling you, even in public television, the bias really isn't there the way that people would like to think. You know,
and it is there more than they like to think too. That's my perspective. Like whenever I meet someone who thinks they don't have bias, I'm like,
well, you did public radio,
buddy. Yeah, I did public radio. Yeah.
Same basic concept.
Community radio.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah. Same basic concept. You know, it's a public outlet for people to use in theory, and everyone has their own biases, and
this podcast has bias.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I don't pretend that I don't.
Fair.
This is. Our podcast is the movie's bad. Movie's bad.
Bias.
I'm gonna hate it.
I'm a truth bringer.
You
call me a prophet.
I'm not going to.
Oh well.
That was also interesting too, since you bring that up. That they that when they decided to make a spectacle, the second half of the movie, that they changed the set, of course, from the standard newsroom set that we stereotypically think of to more of a cathedral setting with the rotating platforms and all that.
Flashing lights.
Yeah.
It was like The Price is Right goes to church.
Well,
yeah.
So what that honestly reminded me of was I got to watch Kesha live this last summer. And she had this whole song and number where she's like, I talk to God and God says rapists suck. And I'm like, that's profit. You have a bunch of people who are buying what you're selling and you've got enough panache to pull it off. It's good TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really good TV in terms of entertainment.
I mean, one of the things too, I do believe that the cult of personality, air quotes, newscaster, the opinion piece person, the pundit, I don't think those guys are crazy. I think they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think they are the propagandists.
Yes.
And this show made it seem like, well, we just got an unhinged person and took advantage of it.
They don't show up on time.
No, that...
They don't show up on time.
Leave it to you to be like, I have places to be. I can't work with crazy. Let's get someone who believes this. It's a logistics matter.
Right.
No, but someone who's genuinely crazy. You can't.
Logistics, baby.
stick to it.
No, I still there was so much bad. There was and I really liked the movie for the whole first half, and it was so bad. The complete mindless, I am going to sleep with everybody because I'm a businesswoman. And she played it so well.
It was really well done.
She played that role so well, but the character was ridiculous.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it was balanced by there were so many more professional women than I see in typical 1970s depictions of media.
And different body types.
Yeah.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Usually a woman in the office doesn't have that many lines and is Faye Dunaway.
Yeah.
But there were more than just Faye Dunaways on screen.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there was, I don't know her name off the top of my head, but she was in 2.5 Men. Conchata Ferrell. She was in 2.5 Men, and she was in Edward Scissorhands. She was one of the busybody neighbors. This was the larger bodied woman that you're referring to. I recognized her instantly. I'm she's famous. I know what she's, but she was very young in this movie. It was I thought it was kind of cool seeing her in there. Yeah. No, and that was all in the beginning too. There was so much more female representation in the beginning, and then they were let's call this 80-year-old man middle-aged, and
I know,
and that this 25-year-old hot-shot business lady was just going to be beside herself because she needed 80-year-old man.
Well, she thought he was cute when he lectured her in college.
I can understand that.
And they gave a shout to MU, University of Missouri, which is known as a journalism school. So
they also gave a shout out to Kansas City for the market wanting to cancel them for having that show on the air. Which, standards.
Yeah.
Standards. Yeah.
Hey, it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also just a very... It was very interesting because he never really said anything of any importance.
No, it's just the feeling and the fervor.
He was just, I'm so mad. And that is what works.
It is. Alex Jones.
It's just the anger that sells.
Yeah, 100%. And they go as far as saying that with the businesswoman. And the first hour was very good. In the first hour, she's like, put him on TV and get him angry.
Yeah. I'm still not getting over just how weird it was that the network was the Communist Party.
Well, the Communist Party got subsumed by the network because it's a money machine.
Mm-hmm.
The Communist Party?
That sect of it, yeah.
That's just
the one woman who was a communist, and then all of her criminal friends. Amy?
But they were the people that were the
bank robbers.
Yeah.
They kidnappers. They kidnap heiresses. Yeah. They rob banks. They make student films.
Okay. Time out. You are saying these words as though that plot line made sense.
I'm just saying it was fun.
That is also a prediction of things to come. I mean, think just a few years ago when certain morons, shall we say, decided it'd be a good idea to ransack the Capitol. A lot of these idiots had cameras on them and filmed their activities and posted them for all the world to see.
It's Always Sunny did an episode on it. TV money machine
on the
January 6th riot. Yeah,
it's still not communists.
No,
Like,
But
No, in
was
that
she
case,
a
it
real
wasn't
communist,
communist,
or just a caricature?
well, of course she was a caricature
Yeah.
because that was that's how
Movies work.
movies work. But like,
Yeah. Money machine. Money machine. Eat up your ideals. Only ideal is money.
I also remember what was going on in the 70s. We were still in the middle of the Cold War, you know. And so, in theory, communism was still very much frowned upon. And
I'd say it's frowned on. Still.
I think so too. Well, nowadays you hear communists and socialists and terms like that being used towards anyone on
left of absolute and total authoritarianism.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, but even back in the 70s when the USSR was still going and we were still in the middle of the Cold War and we still had a lot of Red Scare going on, who in their right mind thought they were running corporations?
She wasn't running it. She was just cutting deals. She wanted her network share. That's all.
No.
She had to pay her people. It's about percentages, baby.
This is just no.
Money machine.
No, this is.
That's the movie.
I know. You know, we didn't actually.
We covered enough.
We didn't actually just do the plot. We are so bad at doing our podcast now that we forget the bits that we do. Okay.
You.
No. Do you want to
So-
summarize the movie? Or?
Okay, so it starts with Howard Beale, the anchor, doing so bad at his job that he gets fired. Mm-hmm. And he talks with his buddy, William Holden, who I just looked it up. He was in his 50s when this movie was made. Died at age 63.
Which you would if you looked 80 at 59.
No, all the men looked ancient.
Yes.
They were gargoyles.
Anyways, they're getting drunk and Beale's like, I'm going to kill myself. On air. And then the next day he's doing his news program telling everyone, yeah, I got canceled. So next week I'm going to kill myself right here on this show. And well, you know, that attracted an audience. Mm-hmm. You know, so he keeps doing it, and he starts going a little crazy. Pretends like he's seeing God in his sleep.
He very much said that he didn't see God, and the being said, "No, I'm not God, but why does that matter? You're just a TV man. Get on TV."
Yeah. You're on television, dummy.
Yeah. Exactly. It wasn't God. It was something that sounded like God.
Yeah, that plays on that stereotype that those who see God must be having paranoid delusions or something like that. So anyway, he does.
Wasn't paranoid enough. They got him.
Yeah. So he winds up at one point in the middle of the rainstorm in his pajamas and trench coats on the sets and telling everyone, "Hey, everything's wrong in the world. You're just sitting here watching TV. So what I want you to do, take action. Yeah, I want you to get up now." And that's triggered the whole "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore." And pretty soon everyone in the streets that is watching on TV, they're standing outside their windows shouting, "I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore." So that's evolves into this cathedral-like show with all sorts of ridiculousness, and he's still telling corporate secrets at one point, and that's what gets him in trouble with the boards, you meddle with the primal forces of nature bits, and they start paying him off, saying, we'll keep you on the air as long as you promote our message. You know,
Which is too depressing and boring, and they're losing ratings.
Yeah.
And so the only solution is to kill them.
Yeah. So the last scene of the movie, there are two of those communist guys infiltrate the studio audience and kill them
But they do it on live TV for the ratings.
on live TV for
Because
the ratings.
the communists and the executives are on the same
Yeah.
team.
Well, they make money
And
together.
then also, in the meantime, you've got this whole devolving marriage plot
Yeah.
with this, like, office nightmare romance.
Yeah.
Completely unnecessary. One thing I did read is that Beale, the guy that played Beale,
Peter Lynch.
Peter
Finch.
he kept, like, keeling over.
Which was hilarious.
He kept.
Except that for the press tour, he actually collapsed and died of a heart attack
Oh wow!
while standing next to the director.
Wow!
It's really good.
Wow! That's. You hear the darndest things, but yeah, wow! Just
At 60.
You would not.
Because these guys don't.
No.
You can't live long.
You can't make
when
this
you're
up.
80 at
Yeah.
45.
No. Wow. I'm really glad you read that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wow.
And of course Robert Duvall is the corporate exec over everything. He died just this year. He was in his 90s, I want to say.
Which was also amazing to me because it's not that he looked bad at 90. It's just that in 1976 he looked surprisingly close to 90. For him to have been 90 recently.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like we've gone through this whole thing where we don't like the age gap relationship, and it was almost like
Exaggerated.
they exaggerated it. They found the oldest looking guy they possibly could find
Right.
to be a love interest. And he's supposed to be middle-aged. He does not look middle-aged. Apparently he was roughly middle-aged.
Did they
I don't
have
know.
sunscreen back then?
Yes.
Oh. All right.
But I think also it was, doctors smoked cigarettes in the labor and
That's
delivery
true.
room.
There was
so-
a scene
Yeah.
where there was a little placard on the table that said, "Please no smoking inside."
Thank you for not smoking. Yeah.
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 I don't know. Like, that was a really wild ride of a movie.
Yeah. I loved it.
And a surprising amount of go F yourself
Oh
for
yeah.
1976.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was wild.
Yeah. Those were the scenes where I pictured now the gun comes out. Right? It's like you got fired back to back 2 days in a row by your best friend.
Yeah.
You're going to kill him now, right?
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
I thought he was going to kill the girl. After she took his job, and he's like, actually, I think I'm in love with you. Why don't we go out to the beach? And I thought he was going to club her like a baby
because
seal
it's a
and toss her
melodrama.
into the ocean.
Yes, and she would have lived for it because that's great TV, and she's a TV machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really kind of hoping for that. Like,
Yeah.
the only good conclusion to this was if he clubs her right now. And he did not.
No.
I don't advocate for violence against women, but this woman was pretty bad.
She said herself that most people thought of her as a man.
Yeah, but no. No.
Wow,
Yeah.
All right.
what a show.
We do this thing. We judge movies on an Ubrick scale, right? So it's kind of just your whatever noise comes out of your mouth. It's not a thumbs up. It's not a thumbs down. It's more of a primal scream into the void, or a retching sound, that type of thing. So Amanda,
For the 3 Emmys we got to see on screen.
oh yeah, there were.
Yeah.
Well, it's TV. It's supposed to be a TV network. Of course, going to see Emmys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right. What's your Ubrick here?
So I will give this a solid 3 out of 5. It is dated. No question about that. It is dated in a lot of the references. I mean, they reference Ford, of course, which would have been time appropriate and everything. But the timelessness, I think, is just the fact that they still use this in media classes to this day, and a lot of
What's the lesson they're trying to teach with this movie?
Media. Money machine.
there's a no, this is more or less what happens in media, and it did predict a lot of the shits that we see today.
It might be akin to showing business majors in their ethics courses the hot coffee documentary.
Do they do that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That seems like too much ethics to teach a business major.
Well, it was pretty tongue-in-cheek. Unfortunately.
Hot coffee?
No.
Was it good?
The ethics class, Amy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Amanda was a business major.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
Dang.
Isn't it depressing?
I did not don't recall that lesson in my business ethics classes, but then I saw this in a broadcasting class.
So my genuine take on this movie was I made this sound spontaneously a little bit ago, and I'm going to see if I can kind of reproduce it, but it was something like...
That's pretty good. I feel like that's accurate. That is accurate to how you feel, yeah.
Yeah.
What a good podcast.
Yeah. Well, I happy 200th episode.
All right, thank you so much.
I'm so glad that you had us here to participate.
Oh, absolutely, and likewise, thanks for having me on your podcast.
Well, thanks for bringing the movie.
Oh yeah.
How do you sign out of your podcast? What do you like to leave people with?
It depends on the episode, of course. I'll usually let the guests lead me out and everything.
Well, what we like to say is, remember, we're professionals.
Do not try this at home.
We watch these so you don't have to? Which one is it?
Don't watch these at home.
Oh, okay. So look at that. A perfect marriage. You cut and chop it and you get there.
I'm not doing that.
Oh my god.
It stays as is.
Okay.
You heard it here. All right. Thanks.
All right, so to close this, long 200th episode, first of all, I do want to send a special thank you to everyone who's been on the podcast. I especially want to give a shout out to Chris, Amy, and Amanda for appearing in this very special episode, and countless more who've been on the podcast, who've been co-hosts, who are part of the Three Timers Club, like Chris and now Amy. And I thought we'd close on a top 5 list. So these are my top 5 favorites clips from the entire podcast, and yeah, they'll skew early, but these are my favorites. So we'll do a countdown style. So we'll start at number 5. Brian Boyd's first appearance on the podcast.
Oh, thank you. I'm applauding myself. Thank you. That is uncalled for, Michael. Already not called for. Nobody called for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm glad you finally got me on as one of your more interesting friends. So we're stacking towards the end of season 2. All right.
Well, we're going to start season 3 now, man.
All right. Okay. All right. Start season 3 with a bang. Boom.
Exactly.
As long as I get more downloads and listens than Trevor Martin and Pat Lamb combined, I'm good to go.
At number 4, we go to one of my favorite episodes of all time, the Cronky Out episode, and how that began. And that was, of course, the first time I ever communicated with someone outside of the United States to do a podcast. So here is number 4.
My name is Curran. I study and work in Amsterdam. I am a long-time Arsenal fan. I grew up in London and been a season ticket holder for as far as I can remember. I've been going to the games. Every time I'm home, I can try and catch the games. I try and watch the games whenever I'm out here, even in Holland. And you can tell I'm an obsessive. I wear the colours. I go everywhere. I wear it proud, you know. And this has ruined my club.
Yes, he has.
And I feel like that is a sentiment shared by a lot of people over in America as well.
Especially myself. How his full name, Enos Stanley Kroenke. Don't know if you knew that.
Enos.
Yeah.
That's going to be great for the football chants.
And number 3, this is the first time I had Luke and Dan on the podcast. And I semi-hilariously call this our drinking episode, because all 3 of us were drinking a little bit. I only had the 1 beer, but Luke and Dan kept pounding away at the beers, and they produced my favorite clip from that first time they came on. Diego Maradona, he's a character, man.
It is pretty. Oh yeah. He is. I like.
And I'm not just talking about the whole hand of God thing that I referenced earlier. No, this dude is interested.
A cocaine loving son of a bitch.
If Argentina wins, I will run naked through the streets of Buenos Aires. No one wants to see that.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Have you ever been out of the country?
No, I'm sorry.
No?
Me neither.
I've been to Mexico.
You been to Mexico?
I've been to Tijuana.
What were we doing in Tijuana?
It's probably something
Some
illegal.
sketchy shit.
No, I'm just kidding. I went on vacation, you know.
And your parents took you to Tijuana?
At number 2, I always say that Conrado's episode is my favorite, and it is. But it's not the number 1 clip. But this clip is my favorite from when I had Conrado on. So here it is, number 2. Yeah, there's I think it's a dog bar or something.
Oh, they have.
Yeah, it's called Bark. Yeah, some sort of bar for dog owners or something like that. That they made. You can't see it's coming that way, but it looks like. But to me, coming the other direction, it looks like it was built with shipping containers. which is pretty cool. You can do a lot of things with those shipping containers.
So you can bring your dog?
Yeah, if you have a dog, you can bring it.
Get drunk.
Yeah.
Get drunk with the dog.
Yeah, have fun with the dog and get wasted at the same time. Yeah, I like that idea.
And the dog take you back home. Drive you.
And then number one, my favorite clip, my favorite quote of the entire podcast, courtesy of Jamie Morrow. So I'm at genre. Do you have a particular genre that you like to act in or work in?
Is paid a genre?
No.
No? Okay.
Genre would be something like
No,
comedy
I know. I'm messing with you.
Yeah. And folks, that is going to do it for this incredibly long but still fulfilling 200th episode of This Podcast is Uncalled For. Once again, thank you so much for your continued support. During the course of making this episode, we hit 30,000 unique downloads. So I thought I'd throw that in here at the end. And I want to, as you keep continuing to listen to the podcast, I'm still got plenty of content for you guys. And we'll have plenty more as long as I feel like doing the podcast, And I have no intention of quitting anytime soon. I'm just really doing it for the love of podcasting. So, but that said, please get the word out. Tell your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors, your enemies. Tell them, hey, here's this podcast. It's uncalled for, and we really like it. So, and with that out of the way, I will go ahead and end with telling you the following: that this podcast is uncalled for, is hosted, produced, and edited by myself, Mike Chernevsky. The special music we used throughout the episode includes our special 200 episode anthem, which was created using artificial intelligence at suno.com, suno.com. And we had some transitional music as well, one of which was Starting Over, which you could have found at freestockmusic.com back in the day. Another one that we had available to us in this episode was The Secret of Tiki Island, which is by Kevin MacLeod and is at incompetech.com and is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. We also have as transition music this episode is Hanami Matsuri by Fabian Measures, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution license, and you can find this song at freemusicarchive.org. And we're closing this episode with Open Door by Little Glass Men. It is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution license, and you can find this at freemusicarchive.org. Once again, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.